Day 3 of the Champion Showdown here in St. Louis. It was the last day of Rapid and the leaders kept pouring it on as Fabiano Caruana, Wesley So, and Richard Rapport surged ahead in dominating style to draw close to clinching victory in their matches. It's time for Blitz with some of the fastest players on the planet. Day 4 of razor-sharp action coming up next.
Welcome back, everybody, to Day 4 of the Champions Showdown held here at the St. Louis Chess Club. We start the day in the playing hall as we are waiting for the players to arrive. It's going to be a fast-paced, explosive day as we are entering the Blitz portion of the Champions Showdown. Who's going to win today? Only time will tell. Let's go to the studio and start this exciting round with Yasser, Jen, and Maurice.
Thank you, Cristian. I'm Jen Shahade, and I'm here with Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan, and today is all about Blitz, baby.
It is indeed, Jennifer. A pleasure as always to call the action with you and Maurice, and it is about Blitz, the most popular form of chess throughout the entire world. But first, let's take a look at the results of the Rapid. Jennifer.
Well, we've had 3 exciting days of Rapid chess, and we've got some big numbers posted, particularly
Wow.
Richard Rapport and Fabiano Caruana spotting their opponents an entire day of Blitz
Yes.
at 18-6.
Wow.
In order to even score, these guys will have to get 12 points in the Blitz. But in a way, we're going to be looking at the Blitz scores independently as well, Yaz. We do have 2 matches that are a little closer. Veselin Topalov's got 15-9 versus Dominguez, but arguably Leinier has a shot to bridge some distance with his very great clock handling skills.
Right.
And then we've also got Nakamura versus Duda. I mean, Duda just plays amazing in these faster time controls. So can he get the better of Nakamura today?
It'll be a challenge, and let's take a look at the schedule.
Well, the schedule, we've got 12 Blitz games today, and then we'll do it all over again tomorrow. Yes, I can't wait. As 24 Blitz games, looking at those Nakamura-Duda games yesterday, I can only imagine how they're going to shock us with playing really well in the fastest of time controls.
And the format, though, there's a lot of points up for grabs.
There sure are. There's 24 Blitz games, 1 point at stake for each game, and you need 24.5 total points to win the match. Will we see a winner in one of the matches today? I would bet on yes, Yaz, but I have no idea which match it's going to be.
Alrighty.
But let's go over to Grandmaster Maurice Ashley to give us his thoughts on today's action.
Well, we simply have been treated to amazing contests so far. The players have brought their A game, at least some of them, and we've just seen victory after victory after victory. A truly bloody day at the chessboard. 3 bloody days. It's been incredible. You don't see these kind of numbers normally in chess. Usually tends towards more draws, but look at that. 37 out of 60 decisive games. White winning 22. Black scoring 15 times. Certainly these players are giving it their all to play fighting chess. And one player who has definitely added a big piece to that total is Fabiano Caruana, the World Championship candidate. He's on fire. Look how much he gained in rating points over the 3 days, 47 points, and his live ranking has jumped 11 places to 3rd in the world. Well, it's that big score against Harikrishna, 7 wins and only 1 loss that has given him that great number. But forget about Rapid, because now it's all about Blitz chess. You got to be lightning quick, and we have some of those players in this competition, headlined by Hikaru Nakamura. He is simply one of the best Blitz players of all time, but he'll be facing off against the youngster, 20-year-old Jan-Krzysztof Duda of Poland, who won the silver medal at the World Blitz Championship, right behind Magnus Carlsen, at one point winning 8 games in a row. This matchup will be the one we'll be keeping our eyes on. But of course, there are others as well. As we see the standings there, it should be an exciting 12 games as some of the giants of chess duke it out in Blitz.
Thank you, Maurice. Indeed, what matches we have in store, and let's see how they match up. What the color allocation will be in Game 1.
Well, yes, we've got all the American players starting with the black pieces. It kind of worked out just coincidentally.
Yeah.
They all picked the black hat in the beginning of the tournament, so it's really easy to follow the visitors versus the Americans here at the Champions Showdown. And I'm just so excited to see that Duda Nakamura match, as well as Veselin versus Leinier. Those are the two that I really have my eyes on to start.
Absolutely. And what are they playing for, Jen? Big money.
That's right, big bucks here. $300,000 on the table, $36K for each win, and $24K for the runner-up, as you so gracefully put it. Yes.
The runner-up, and in case the matches are tied, they will each get $30,000. So indeed, big money. And that close matchup, let's face it, a 4-game points to overcome for Duda. I don't think he's quite there yet. I think that's a match that we want to watch. But boy, when I think about Hikaru and his blitz skills, I think one of the greatest of all times, Jen.
I agree, but you just got to do it one game at a time, yes.
True,
and
true.
I think definitely not. Considering the score differential, Duda is definitely a huge underdog.
Right.
Even without the score differential, we might look at it and say Nakamura, slight favorite. Some
Right.
might say moderate or even big favorite, but I don't know. It's really hard to say because this guy did get the silver medal ahead of Hikaru
Exactly.
in the St. Petersburg World Blitz Championship.
And it's all about momentum and blitz, Maurice. If
That's
you can
right.
get on that train where you can just bang, 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 3 wins in a row, you start really feeling good about yourself and
look at him
force your
downing
opponent
the
on the back
Perrier.
foot, Maurice.
Well, let me say, first of all, when you have a legend like Hikaru, it's kind of like, I don't know if I can exactly compare him to someone like Tom Brady of the Patriots, but it's someone who knows exactly what this is all about, and is very comfortable.
Right.
You very rarely rattle Hikaru in blitz. He says, I'm going to stay cool. I don't care if it's 3 seconds on the clock. I'm going to pick up some time. His reflexes are astonishing. Remember that save he did yesterday against Duda? Duda made that one slip about to mate him, and he found that F5 break, and Duda was shaking his head stunned as you see him walking in now. I mean, he has done this so many times. But think about it. Sooner or later, there's got to be a changing of the guard.
Right.
Sooner or later. And just because he's built up a big resume doesn't mean that the youngster doesn't have a big chance. And he has shown himself by demolishing players at the World Blitz Championship. I believe he only drew Magnus. I don't think Magnus even beat him in their 1-to-1 matchup. I'll have to check on that. But nevertheless, Magnus just barely edged him out to show that he is indeed a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I was going to say, in that World Blitz Championship, the setback that Duda had in that, was it 21 Blitz games, was against Hikaru. Hikaru did win in their individual matchup. They only played each other once in St. Petersburg in the Blitz. So as we sit down and drill in and watch these two guys, this will be our key matchup for today.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know.
This is going to be boss chess right there.
And there's Richard Rapport facing
Speaking
the
of a
camera.
boss.
Wow, what he's done against U.S. champion Sam Shankland, amazing, Jennifer. Did you see that coming?
Well, he's won the Euro, it was the Blitz or Rapid Championship. So it's not like this guy's a slouch.
No.
He's
props
indeed
to Sam for picking
boss.
somebody who was a favorite against him.
Absolutely.
He could have picked somebody else. He could have picked somebody that he would
Okay.
be a slight fave against.
Quickly before they start, the outstanding player in this day of Blitz. Just who's going to score the most points? Who's the best Blitz player? Who's going to score the most points?
Richard.
Jennifer, your choice. Come on, baby, don't blow it.
Wesley.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Wesley, but you know what?
I'm going to go with a favorite. Maurice always accuses me of this.
Hikaru?
Yeah.
All right.
You think Hikaru's going to score the most points?
He's going to score the most points. I think he's going to just
It's not
take
a
down
round
this
robin,
youngster.
guys.
I know. But
If it was
he's
a round
gonna
robin, I'd like
say,
your pick.
Look, you're young. I know you're the lion of tomorrow. I got to beat you now.
Oh, these are 3 good picks, guys.
Okay.
But
Again, your
let's
pick?
see. I picked Wesley because I was thinking
Your
about.
pick, Maurice?
We mentioned the
Okay.
speed chess champs, guys,
There
and
you
that
go.
was actually where Duda got stopped. Not by Nakamura, not by Grishuk, but by Wesley So. Okay, he didn't play Nakamura, but he got stopped by Wesley So.
Okay.
And big score put up by So there, but they're not playing today. Duda is playing Nakamura, and I love that he repeated the English Yaz, because that was really the only time he got something with white.
Exactly. And they were repeating, oh, I was about to say no E3. It was going to be that line of the Benoni that brought us such an extraordinary game in the Rapids. But no, it's kind of a reverse hedgehog, Maurice? Is that how do you describe this system for white?
That would be accurate. But White feels like he has more than the hedgehog position.
Because he may be going for
Because he might
D4,
play
he's not
D4,
just
exactly.
D3. And yeah, I kind of feel that way too.
More energy, and of course he's hitting the E5 square over and over. There we see three pieces, both knights and the bishop on that square. Now bishop A6 challenging the knight.
That's unusual.
That is quite unusual, as we see this bishop on that square. Certainly curtailing some expansion in the center because the knight will be pinned. But that knight is so secure, it's hard to push it off the square. So it seems like the bishop is not that useful on that square. But the issue for white right now is what to do with the center. What to do? Do you want to hit with D4 right now, allow some liquidation? Or do you want to start, you want to be more constrained with E3, D3? I don't see that happening and giving you anything. Do you want to just put pieces right now just to see what goes on by dropping a knight on E5? These are lots of questions, and particular issue for white here is where to put the queen. Where does the queen belong? And I was going to say A3, Rook C2, Queen A1, the old ready maneuver, but he's not going to have time to do it after A3, Bishop F6 instantly, and a trade we see now, A3, Bishop F6, and now a trade on F6 has indeed occurred, and it's up to Naka to decide who's going to take, and he's taking over
with the
that
queen.
diagonal by taking with the queen. So he's seized somewhat of the defensive as white by
Yeah.
adopting this hedgehog setup indeed.
Yeah, well, especially with this trade on F6, maybe something a little bit more challenging with Queen C2. I thought the move A3, frankly, was a little wrong. I thought you could just go Queen C2 and not worry about Knight
Knight
D4.
D4, 'cause you
It's
could
not,
play Queen
there's no big issue, but Queen C2, Queen B1, Queen C2, Rook D1, and playing for D4. I think Hikaru is going to say, okay, I've already equalized. I feel very good. In fact, I've got space with this pawn on C5 versus the pawn on D3.
Interesting move there, Queen
Queen
E7.
E7.
I thought that white's queen was on a funny square,
Me
being
too.
on the same file as the rook, and then you take the queen away and give him this diagonal to now say, well, actually, I'm lying. I want it back.
Yeah, that was a very strange
Yes.
stutter step. But whoa,
Now
whoa,
he's
whoa.
looking to put a knight on E5,
No,
which would
no,
certainly
no.
cause some issue there with a
No,
pin.
that's scary to go into those pins.
And he's
95,
walked
knight
into it.
Knight D4.
This is a very
No, there's
defensive
no-
position for white. It doesn't look like white is looking for much other than that E5 square. The big key, though, is that black finds it very difficult to make any obvious breaks.
Knight D4 now. If knight takes
Knight-
D4, you have queen takes E5.
That's
right?
the trick that I wanted to show. Knight D4, knight takes D4, queen takes E5. And that was where my spidey sense said, wait a minute, this diagonal, you walked into a pin. But no knight D4 by Hikaru. He said, okay, against your knight E5, I'll just play knight E7,
Looking for knight G6.
knight G6, and I'll give your knight the boot.
And these knights look quite unstable with that pin on this
Diagonal.
queen.
So maybe
Yeah.
Rook C2.
Rook C2
Rook
will
C2.
walk
Now
into
you
a
have
knight
knight
D4
D4
with tempo. And I wanted to be able to play the move E3 is what I wanted to do.
He's played Rook C2.
Rook
And-
C2, but now knight D4, knight takes D4. You can't play queen E5. I could just move the knight, right?
But you
Right.
could.
You
and
can,
did.
but it's not
happened.
winning.
And
It's
the issue is
happened.
where to put your knight,
Right.
as white just has nothing here.
No,
White
this
has
is
played
very
for
poor.
0 in this position.
Exactly.
I mean,
If I'm black, I'm playing knight C3, and I'm looking for an edge.
you mean you're headed to the
Knight
C3
C6, pardon
the
me.
C3 square?
Yeah, I was
Or
going to go
C6 is where you wanna
knight
go.
C6, and I'll start looking for an
clearly,
edge.
white won some kind of B4 break, but he has just played this so passively. It's incredible. And black now looking to get the move E5, which will shut down D4 for the long term. That move
Exactly.
F6.
Now king f1, he's looking to play. White is looking to play king e1 and b4, and maybe using his king to control what will be the open c file before too long. But yeah, this didn't work out well at all for Duda.
Ooh, look at this move, switching, and this is a
Stopping e5.
Excuse me, this is a straight. No, it's not a pawn sack because
No.
the e6 pawn is hanging. So he stopped that, but now his piece
bishop-
is threatened. So now you got to
Bishop
wait.
takes f3.
Keep his knight on the board and keep his bishop on the board, because I was looking
Right.
at knight d2, but his nuance of bishop to h3 gave him a chance to play it without worry. So there goes that bishop off the diagonal.
Right. I think Hikaru is looking to play a move like knight c6, but didn't want his bishop on d5 to get trapped.
b4 is the key, though, right?
Exactly.
If he somehow get something with
Well, you don't want to do it here because of the back rank mate.
Right. No, that's the
b4
problem.
take on b4, and there's a rook c1 check and mate after we trade rooks.
Right, but now doubling first and looking
now
for some
b4
kind of push.
is still on your agenda, no question about it.
But knight c6.
Then still b4.
No, I can take
because
twice.
there's a rook c7 check.
That is
But that's
an
a
issue.
e6 pawn is hanging. If I'm black, I'm starting with f5. Ooh, h5. I was going to say, if I'm black, I'm going to play f5, king f6, and do the slow push on the king side. But h5, completely
There's
different
b4.
approach.
We
a move that we've
anticipated.
been expecting for some time.
Now, is this a strength or a weakness? Because black will try to get a passed pawn on that side, and Duda had to judge this. Now, by the way, look at the clock. 30 seconds for Duda, 38 for Naka. They are in full blitz mode now, and yet they are still playing relatively slowly. And this has been a long think by Naka, as he's allowed his clock to drop.
I was thinking rook c2.
Ooh, and look at this move.
b5.
b5, giving away the c5 square. What's that about?
A very strange move indeed.
That was weird.
I thought rook c2, rook c2, rook c8 was an automatic.
Oh, he's
b5.
trying. He's trying to lock down. He's trying to lock down the square for so he can attack this pawn on b4. That was his point. He thought that he had strength here, and now f5, making White's bishop anemic.
No, Maurice. I'm telling you, that knight on c5 is a monster.
But what are you going to do about the knight c6 plan? Wait, e4 is another. Okay, so he shut down e4, so his bishop does not have to be stuck. But here it comes. This is the point, to be able to play e4.
No knight c6, e4 is the issue.
Right.
So now
g5, e4, dropping the. Oh, he's giving away the square.
Giving away the square. Rook a2.
Yes, of course.
Black,
force him on the defensive. Oh, not Nakamura.
Wow, but
there goes that b4 point we were talking about,
right.
And that drops that pawn. What is Duda going to do here as Nakamura has gained activity at a moment? No, he said, no way, I can't give you too much there. And here comes that b pawn.
Right.
This was his worry. He only has 4 seconds left.
4 seconds.
Yes, he's got to play very quickly.
Goodness.
Does Duda, now trading off, and now we're expecting to see a bishop g2 happen at some point. But not worried is Nakamura.
Hikaru has taken advantage in this game.
And
somehow
now
that B pawn
B3
has become the most important passer.
Yeah, he got that
in
B
the
pawn from
position.
him. Only 3 seconds left. Duda in trouble here trying to figure it out, but his king is seemingly close enough to
That's
that pawn.
important.
The
That's why
knight
he
just
played
shut
knight
him
C6.
down, and he's ignored that side completely. Oh, he had to hide his king. If that knight were able to defend
King
that
takes
pawn.
rook
Duda
b2.
with a quick move. And now he's got to watch out. Is there a mating challenge? The rook might find a way back to mate the white king.
Oh, there goes a knight.
Because he saw knight b2.
He saw
Rook
the mating problem, but now he's on a piece.
Okay, he's got to cover his king.
He's busted.
He's
got to
busted.
be busted.
Exactly. King f7 and no knight
Another
g6.
check.
Oh yeah,
Well,
no
why
king.
does it, and the
King
king has
f7
hopped
was
up.
good.
Now the king, he allowed this move.
No, the knight is so
Still
strong
up
in
a
the
piece.
and this is really boss. Check. Oh, Hikaru
King
has
f7
played
is
these
forced.
last 20 moves so well. It's
All
just
right,
been
and
amazing.
Now he just needs to control the game. And Sam has won his game.
Oh
by
my!
now.
Oh,
He can't take the h3 pawn because of a fork.
Remember, it's touch move. It's touch move, and rook takes h3.
What about
Walked
knight
into
g5?
the beautiful fork, and okay, how
Well, let's take a look at what happened
Wow.
with the results. Veselin Topalov won another game.
Oh my goodness!
Wesley
There was a
also
bunch
won.
of wins, by the way. A lot of
Fabi
wins.
won. Everybody
Every game won.
Everybody
game
won.
was
Not
decisive.
That's my kind of chess tournament. Everybody wins.
Well, unfortunately, it's a zero-sum game, so
Right.
everybody lost as well.
Wow.
But yes, we saw some big victories in lots of games. Poor
And all our-
Pentala lost again.
Wow, I just got to bring, I just got to bring up this final position between Richard and Sam Shankland because it's a beauty, guys. This fight, queen and pawn endgame, equal number of pawns. You think, oh, it's going to be a draw. Uh-oh, what is White going to do about queen on G1 over to H1 checkmate?
We don't even have a single
Helpless.
check, Yaz.
It's helpless.
It's really nice that the B7 pawn stops me from playing queen C6
Exactly.
to get to the critical diagonal. But
Beautiful.
Yaz, I thought you were going to make a key point.
No, that was just
Maurice
a nice
picked
one.
Shankland for the upset match, but then he picked Richie Rapport for the Blitz.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Let's take a look at the
Is he the
results.
curse?
What's
Yes.
going on? The
Yes.
results.
I got to
The
be right
results.
somewhere.
Well, here we have it. We mentioned Nakamura. Of course, we saw that game go down. Nakamura winning, extending his lead. Fabiano Caruana also with a victory. And this is all
Wow.
about the leaders extending their lead with one exception. Sam Shankland got the job done against Richard Rapport to start the Blitz off on a high note.
And exactly what you're saying. Maurice picked Sam Shankland as the upset guy. Now he's going with Richard as the guy who's going to score the most points in today's day of Blitz. And
Not very consistent.
no,
guys.
I mean, fair-weathered friend. I mean, look at that. Who would have thought?
And all these players are hoping that Maurice doesn't pick them for the next tournament.
I'm telling you, it's
It's
the
like,
curse.
Who
Five wins.
Wait a second.
We're not finished.
Who picked Duda? Who picked Duda to win?
I did.
You picked Duda to win.
I picked Duda as the best upset guy.
I see. And who picked Duda to win the whole thing?
well, we didn't really have a
Nobody.
whole win the whole thing.
We didn't have
Yeah, the one who
whole-
was going to
Scored
be.
the most points today.
No, I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about in the overall.
Here we
These
go.
are-
Here we go.
these
Here
were
we go.
upset
The
picks.
upset. We had upset picks.
Upset. Okay, so I'm inconsistent, is what you're telling me. And yet you picked Duda to upset Nakamura, but today you said Nakamura is going to beat Duda. Who? Am I the only one?
Man has a point.
Thank you very much, Yasser Seirawan. Be consistent. You did it too. Thank you very much.
At least I picked
sure
somebody.
did.
Yes, you sure did, buddy boy.
I picked somebody
I'm
unrelated,
busted.
yeah.
I'm busted. Would you believe? I am busted. Oh my goodness. All right, but 5 decisive games. What a way to start our Blitz segment of the competition, Jennifer.
Yesterday we had a game, a gamble about whether or not anybody would lose on time in the Blitz and what round it would be.
And when I suggested there would be 4
Four losses.
losses on the clock, did we see any?
I
of
don't
this?
know. I'll ask
I'm-
we obviously didn't get a chance to see every single game, but yeah, well, let's. I think actually that our producers are also kind of like bloodthirsty when it
Keeping
comes
an
to
eye
the
on
clock.
that,
So
yeah.
if they see an actual time loss, they usually replay it for us.
Okay, and I'm just replaying
It's something like that
some.
Schadenfreude of seeing somebody actually go down on the clock, you know, especially if it's not a totally lost position. People just
Right.
seem to like that in a sick, twisted way, like
Yeah.
watching a horror movie.
It's tremendous fun. Yeah, it's like watching people work. I mean, it's mesmerizing. This is a very, very nice final move, by the way, between the David Navara and Wesley So. Wesley, obviously, he's looking at his pawn. He wants to push his pawn to glory. But the problem for Wesley is if he trades on c4, rook takes c4, queen takes c4, pushes his pawn, oops, there's a perpetual check that White escapes with. But Wesley found this very nice move just at the end. He played queen check, maintaining his rook on the open file, and only after f4 now did he push his pawn, and there's nothing that David could do to prevent the pawn from queening, and so he gave it a rest. But okay, nice finish by Wesley as they're getting ready for game 2, and they're a minute away from the start. Well, that game with Duda, that kept us enthralled. We really didn't get a chance to see any of the other games, Jennifer.
Well, I'd stick with that match, don't you think? I mean, those are the
Absolutely.
guys that play so well. I have to say, we saw some really incredible rapid games. We're going to stick with Duda Nakamura as we watch the second battle between these two Blitz heroes.
I gotta say, Naka looks so cool. It's not even funny.
Now you like my pick.
I didn't say anything about your pick. You're the one trashing me. I'm just saying, this guy looks so cool.
He does.
He just looked like, you know what? I belong here. This is what I do. Make sure we play Blitz all the time, all day, every day. Matter of fact, he live streams, so he's the kind of guy who's probably thinking, maybe you can hook up a mic. You know,
Right.
I'll talk while I'm playing this guy. No big deal.
I'll be in a confessional booth just
Yeah,
telling you
my
everything.
fans want to know what
going
I'm
on.
thinking while I'm playing this game.
I know.
He could do that too. He's just extremely comfortable at this time control.
He's a fun streamer. There's no question. Fun to watch him as he just shares his thoughts about the game in real time with the audience.
And
as he's
already
playing.
Duda
Sacrificed a pawn.
having sacked, and I don't know if I like this.
I still have the feeling it's all theory, though, Maurice. A lot of about these E4, E5 reactions, I feel is common. Now, there is a trick here that Black has to avoid. If knight takes D4, or you don't want to take on D5 and fall for a bishop H7 check. Ooh, he didn't go for it. All right. The trick I was about to say is, in case of knight takes d4, this is the one thing you don't want to do, is allow this kind of a trick with the queen coming across, and after a check, you get to pierce Black's kingside pawn shield. None of that happened because after takes, Hikaru actually played knight e4. Oops, sorry. Okay. Well, we'll just go to the game.
Well, he has traded off in the middle, and now he is down a pawn, but with the two bishops, is Duda a little bit of a slight lead in development for sure, with some pressure on the E line. He's going to look to get the E4 square as well.
Exactly.
It's a very secure blockade with the bishop on D6. Don't play bishop F4, as rook E4 will land on the board. So we see
Bishop
this move.
G5.
Bishop G5. The queen was going to leave anyway, so where with energy, and that's a good square.
Okay.
Making sure she hits that pawn on A2 so the rook doesn't leave to contest the E file.
And bishop d2 was the quick response by Hikaru, as he's looking to play bishop c3
Yes.
and create a battery and maybe try to provoke a few weaknesses at least. Try to force f7, f6, or maybe the blockade of the d pawn will be lifted after bishop c3 and bishop f8. Not full compensation yet for Duda. I like the extra pawn for Hikaru.
Well, he can nestle on the queen side.
And he played queen b6.
Queen? What a dramatic decision
that would have
to
been
make.
Right, and I would have really, fought with myself to make such a.
I hear him that bishop c3 was a challenge.
And he did it anyway. He didn't play take on b6 and double the pawns.
Well, we have a main threat.
Okay, well now I got to feel that after queen takes d4, knight takes d4, well, equality is strong, but the compensation just really went up.
Bishop e4 now, knight b5.
Knight b5 might be a tease.
Might be a little something, but
I'm thinking bishop d7 and just chill for the moment. Pawn on d5 is well blockaded. Bishop d7, yes. He's done it.
looking like a small challenge for white. Ooh, and he just weakened that e6 square on purpose.
Okay, yeah, purposefully, because he sees that he's going to play king f7.
Didn't take much for Naka to leap in there.
I
Did it?
was about to say, the moment a weak square appeared, Naka was Johnny on the spot.
But why is he there?
Yeah,
He had to leave. I mean,
I
what
was
that
about
about?
to say, what was that all about? And now, okay, now it's going to be full equality. You go rook c8 with the idea of trading and playing rook c5, no problems at all. Duda, even though he's a pawn behind, he is really holding it very well. Whoa, he took with the rook. I thought bishop takes.
So that he could play rook c5?
Exactly.
And
I wanted to keep that. Ooh,
Another
okay.
trade.
He's just going to go bishop b4.
E5. Oh, yeah, bishop
takes,
e5, and then that
takes
cannot be
knight.
losing ever.
Bishop takes d4. That shows incredible maturity to say, look, I'm a pawn down. in a bishops of opposite color ending. I know how to draw this. A7,
A5 action.
Okay.
Whoa, an A3 by Naka.
Whoa. Okay.
That
A4.
seems weird. After A4,
Bishop F5 quickly, or
Bishop B5, and then Bishop C4.
Bishop C4 and force the pawn to D6.
Pawn will have to go to D6, and you will now your pawns on the queen side are just dead.
Dead.
And so
Frozen.
Nakamura's already accepted this as a draw.
Yeah.
This is already
Dare I
clear.
say we look at a different game,
I
guys?
think that's
Yes,
a
we can
good
switch out to
dare.
this one.
Let's just go quickly to the game between Fabiano and Hari. It's an open Sicilian where, wow, Hari has kept his king in the center, and he's just played the move knight C4 to E5. That knight on E5, you know, open Sicilian players, especially the Scheveningen players amongst us, love those knights on E5. Knight E2, not even rook E1, but knight E2 right away as, okay, so sorry, I got the move order
you know
wrong.
what- you know
Queen
what's the fun
C7,
All
E2.
the remaining games are fun, Yaz.
Are
Gosh,
they?
but Sam Shankland versus Richie Rapport is really fun. If there's
That's the one to go to. Let's do it.
As
Let's
we're-
jump to our U.S. champion.
yeah, because don't
games.
remember that we're also looking at who wins the Blitz, and Sam started out
Exactly.
with a victory.
And he needs lots of them. And he's just played
B6.
a sweet move, B6. And, oh my, he is winning. Sam Shankland is winning. He doesn't get mate. If Sam avoids mate, Sam's going to play rook
Rook
B1,
B1, yeah.
bishop A6, and
Or knight A5, but
Drill.
bishop A6 even easier. Bishop
drill that
This
b-pawn
looks crushing.
home.
And look
And
at
he's done it.
Sam.
This looks helpless for black, actually.
Exactly. Queen F1, perhaps? Okay, he just
Very little
allowed-
time for Sam, though.
He did-
He,
okay, hold
knight
on.
takes
There's
C4.
Queen C2? Queen C2?
There it is.
Queen
Queen
C2
G5.
is done deal.
But we can take on E4 with check.
Yep.
And he
Or
has
we could
not.
just take with the pawn and G2 is defended.
And Richard is playing like he's really, really nervous. I don't know what the clock
3
times are like.
seconds left
Another
for
queen
Sam.
on the
Okay.
board, and now a threat of rook G1.
Don't lose on time, Sam.
Oh! Disaster. Disaster.
All you got to do is avoid checkmate. Why did he play? Oh.
Wait,
He's still playing. He could have played Queen D1.
he didn't get checkmated, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Queen-
got checkmated also? Oh, God.
No, I think he fell. The
He
clock
lost
fell.
on time.
Okay, that's one out of the
But let's go
4 I
back to Fabi.
predicted. Oh my word! Oh, that was a win. Oh, that was a win for Sam Shankland for sure.
Ooh, and David Navara is crushing Wesley So. Is the game over?
Wow, Fabi won again.
Fabi won again, but what about Wesley's game? Is that
Let's-
already over?
Let's jump
He
to
won
it.
the first
Yeah,
game.
David lost. I mean, David won. Wesley
David
got
won.
crushed.
Oh my gosh.
1-1 in this match then.
Oh, I see this final position. The rook has just destroyed White's kingside.
And we still got a game. Not a surprise as these two men, because they always seem to be among the last to finish, guys.
Exactly.
And let's get acquainted. 4 seconds left for Dominguez.
Oh my goodness.
What a surprise. I'm, of course, being
And we're-
facetious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
was,
we're
he was
in a-
on 4 seconds like 30
Okay.
moves ago.
And the
And
players
they're-
will make a draw in a rook and 3 versus rook and 2. But
Draw pictures.
Veselin
He's going to keep
Topalov-
playing his Veselin.
Yeah.
Got to play rook. Well, he didn't play the rook down with an idea. Not sure what to do there. Here comes the king.
just a series of checks would have been pretty good right now.
And the king has come to the other
And
side.
just-
How do you make any progress?
You don't. You just keep that rook attacking the pawn on h6, and the black king is tethered to its defense. So just move your king back and forth. Okay.
There it
agreed.
is. Good. What a
Wow.
round. Another round of all decisive games except for this one.
A draw, the first draw.
Oh,
after
2,
10
sorry. 2.
Who was the second draw?
That's also Naka's game.
Three.
Everything in between. That was more
It was
forgettable.
5 decisive, three
Oh,
decisive
it was
games
so
in this
sad.
second blitz.
We jinxed Sam by
We
going to
sure
his game.
did. Oh,
I wanted
my
him to
word.
start 2-0. That would be such a great. Of course, he still has so much ground
Exactly.
to make up, but I feel like psychologically, that's a real.
Well,
it's a real-
remember, Blitz is streaky like that, Jennifer. You play, 3 wins in a row. Now,
So let's
right
see what
here,
happened, okay?
you said take the knight with check, and I just couldn't understand why Sam didn't do that. Take the knight with check. The king has to, I don't know, drop back. And now, because of the threat of mate and one, you drop your bishop back. Your rook covers the first rank. Your bishop covers the other entry square. This bishop is nothing. It's over.
Well, you're saying White's winning here?
Totally,
Yes, of
but your
course
queen
White's
takes
winning.
e4 was simple.
Easier. Okay, but
Easy
Richard,
peasy.
with Sam playing on the increment, Richard still would have played like queen h4, h4, f2. He would have kept playing. But what happened in the game
Was he took with the pawn and then came f3.
Okay.
Okay, you're still winning after a simple move, for example, like queen f2.
what was played in the game, I'm sure, is still winning, right? Bishop f5, check.
Okay.
King h6.
But
now,
b7 is already, well, now you're allowing some tricks. Queen e3.
so you're saying queen f2 instead
Queen
of
f2,
b7.
shut it down. Just shut it down. And Maurice.
Well, fascinating. In this game, there was another idea. I'm not trying to
Yeah, please.
stab the guy,
Yeah.
just because he's down. But we've seen these tactical tricks typically in like Puzzle Rush, for example, or any kind of puzzle books you look at. The threat is Queen G1, right? But if you play Queen G1, he takes. You play Rook G1, he takes. So you like to move your Rook and bring it to this square. But the problem is your opponent's going to queen. Right? So you're going to queen and pin that last rook, and then there's no way to pull it off.
Right.
So what can you do? Well, for starters, you could move, but one idea is kill this knight first to clean everything up, and then move. And then move your king.
Okay.
Now your threat is simple. You're going to put your rook here, and then you're going to mate him.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just game. That's it. There's nothing you can do about it except give his queen away. The
Because
threat
if
is,
I play queen d1,
well, Queen D1 allows this other idea, check, and this mate.
Sweet,
So
smothered
so
mate.
if you try to defend the back rank, you run into that
That
mate.
trick.
And if you try to stop him, if you don't, then he's just going to play queen down. And so
That's lovely.
that was really a nice way to win. But
Yeah.
here we go as Sam
Flagged.
blitzing, but he ended up flagging in this game.
The magic of
You see it
video.
there. 3 seconds. He's hesitating.
It's making that queen. It takes too long,
I
guys.
know.
And there
then-
he was thinking right there.
And he had to play queen c1 or queen d1.
Queen D1 and
And
draw
here's
the
our
back rank.
results.
He had to
Jennifer.
play. You said he had to play queen
To,
d1.
to cover rook
Yeah.
g1 mate,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Okay.
And then it would have
and
been a
here's our
perpetual
results.
check.
2 draws, Fabiano, Navara, and Richard Rapport all in that winner circle. So the bad news is I wanted Sam to make a comeback, I'm not going to lie.
Exactly.
The good news is Maurice's pick just looks a little bit better.
Right.
Also, remember yesterday I said, I might have to give away $10K if there was no flag fault. Well, that bet ended early.
Right,
That
you're
bet
off the
ended
hook.
early.
I guaranteed you were off the hook.
Wait. Who did you say, Jen? You guys are trashing my picks again.
Just,
Jen, who did you say was going to win
The
today?
Blitz
The Blitz.
lead.
Oh, Wesley. Yeah, that's.
Oh, look at-
I really like that Wesley pick.
Look
If I had a second chance, that's what it would have been.
Although he has only won one so far.
And
They
look
split,
at
they split
Cristian.
victories in the first
And
two.
Cristian putting up.
I'm a little jealous of his choice. That's a
But-
good choice.
But he's always going to pick Fabi.
That's true.
Yeah, he's Team
He
Fabi.
He didn't pick Fabi in the first round, but that was also a misunderstanding of upset. He was like, pick the upset,
Very
Fabiano.
nice.
That he wouldn't say that.
Right.
Can't pick his man for that.
Very, very, very nice.
And here we are. Here's the man himself, Fabiano Caruana, St. Louis's own. Challenged Magnus Carlsen for the World Championship in November. Came ever so close. And now he's trying to say, hey, you might not have seen it in London, but
I'm a pretty good blitz
I'm pretty
player.
good at blitz and rapid as well.
Right. Well, he hit the trampoline big time in the rapid as he went from 16th to 3rd, I believe, or was it 14th to 3rd? Can he pull something like that off again? I mean, Hari will say, I don't know what I was thinking when I accepted my invitation to visit St.
Stop
Louis.
it.
I mean, no, it's just a bad experience for Hari as he's just not gotten into a groove.
Well, it's tough also. He was tremendously outrated by his opponent, I mean,
Right.
100 points and...
Well, 100 points for what? Rapid?
100 points in classical.
Who? Harikrishna?
No. Hold on. What was their matchup in terms of rapids? And there's the handshake as it looks like a D4. has been essayed
In classical, it's 100 points, but I know they're not playing classical. But still, he doesn't get to play against Fabi very much.
Exactly.
There are 100 points in classical.
When
right?
did Harikrishna go down to 27-29?
I don't know.
This guy was like almost top 10. He was 12th in the
27-50,
world at one point. At
Wow.
worst. When did that happen?
By the way,
But let's
English
take a look
opening.
at
Oh.
quiet opening here, guys. As maybe we should look at the what do you think, Nakamura Duda again?
And the Duda
they're gonna
Nakamura
steal the
game
show.
is
Yeah,
going to
let's
be
stick
fun.
with
I can
that.
tell you, it's already a big imbalance after this move. F4. I mean, I played this McInnes floor English opening system since I was 12, and I never played the move F4 by what Duda essayed.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, that's a
This is
crazy
movie.
move. Okay, he's ambitiously thinking to plant his knight on the e5 square, Jen, but isn't that d-pawn a little bit weird?
Well, he's trying to fix it with D4.
D4,
But his whole
yeah.
structure is going to be weird as
After
well.
Rook d8. Well, he's got to play bishop e3 to keep the defense of the d4 pawn going.
It's a little annoying to be defending already.
I know, something's...
Whoa!
F5.
Wake up, St.
Wow,
Louis.
smell the coffee.
What the?
I've got
what?
it. I got a tactic, says Duda. Give me that bishop g5 trick. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Whoop. And if you play queen takes F5,
Knight e5.
95, and he's hitting the
F7.
F7 point.
That's good. But what about pawn takes f5, bishop g5, queen d6? What happens?
Well, he's going to use his D pawn. He's going to push his D pawn
Yeah.
to D5, and it's no longer a target.
Exactly.
It's a pass pawn. That's
Right.
going to be what he's counting on, as a matter of
So,
fact.
pawn sacrifice to get a passer.
Yes.
And to neutralize the pressure on the d5.
Absolutely. And black is not developed on the queen side, so white is looking for quick development and tactics
Tempe,
and
yeah.
positional pressure, the whole nine. This is a fantastic move
I love
that he
it.
found. You were talking about that F4 move. But guess what? This pawn just giddy up to the F5 square, and now Naka's like, whoa, I didn't see this one coming. And that bishop G5 threat, that D5 move, how does he fight? All of it is what he's starting to calculate. And look how much clock time he burned after that monster move F5.
Right.
He's got half the time as Duda.
And I think he's going to have to play your line, Jen. I think he's going to have to take with a pawn and suffer the consequences of bishop g5, queen d6, and d5, and let's go.
And you even, bishop g5 played,
Queen D6.
forced.
This is
Bishop
all.
F4 instantly.
Just where do you want to keep the lady?
Don't think he wants a draw. Don't be
No,
fooled.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
gosh,
no. Queen g6, perhaps?
Yeah, you walk into a 95 eventually.
95? No, I don't
Man,
like it.
Where you gonna hide?
Yeah.
Back on F6.
Ooh.
But man, that's gonna be
That's
You
his
have
tempting
to have
begging.
an
later.
e5 square.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but
Begging.
D5 right now, Queen C3 because of the pin, right? Is that
Man,
true?
You're going to take that pawn?
I'm
I
just.
didn't realize that you're that greedy.
No, I'm not
But
that
I
good.
think it's
What is your move?
Takes on
What
C-
is your move?
I
Yeah.
guess rook c1. I don't know, but
Wouldn't that be
d5.
funny if takes on c6, rook takes c1, takes b7 worked? It's actually not that crazy.
Doesn't it?
The queen can't get, nothing can get back
That
to
looks
stop that.
saucy.
Ooh, that looks like a puzzle
That
rush.
does look saucy. D5, and if
D5.
you take on C3, take the
Queen.
bishop. Whoa! What is that?
But
Oh,
bishop
two.
c7 played.
What is that?
Two amazing moves
That's
by
bizarre.
Duda.
I would so sack the exchange if I were black here, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to make. Why do you play this move?
Bishop c7.
Maybe to remove the pin.
What?
Maybe to remove the pin
So
from
that when
so
you
that when he
play
plays D5, it
D5,
is just a hit.
It's a serious hit.
That was the purpose. Okay. Now the bishop is dropped back to E8, and now that pawn could also keep going down the board with D6, but then Rook D8 again, and you failed. So that's
Right.
not going to work. But is
But
he?
hold on, d6 and that bishop on g2 could get unleashed
Oh, this
against the
is so good
b7
looking.
pawn. Wow. Quickly, while they're contemplating, I just want to show the audience a line that Jennifer came up with, which is a really sweet line, a tactic with d5, queen takes c3. She had this tactic worked out where it takes, you sacrifice your queen, but check this out, after taking on b7, there's no way black can stop white from reemerging with the queen and a material edge.
And right now,
that's
what
a beautiful tactic.
Thank you. Right now, white is actually down an entire queen on the board.
Exactly.
for a piece.
And you could probably take this guy, but then after you take some queens, that would have been a wonderful, wonderful win.
A long think, by the way, by Duda while you were
let's get
speaking
back to
that
the game.
entire time he
Yes.
blew his entire edge
No.
and his time edge and finally settled on rook b1, which puts a bit of pressure on Nakamura because he really wants to play b5.
But that feels soft, right?
But that just didn't seem right. So he decided just to bring his knight out, giving back the
Whoa.
pawn, and the rook is crashed
Queen
onto b7.
A6.
Now queen a6,
hits the
that's the rook and the base pawn, the
On
c
C4,
pawn.
yeah.
What does he have planned here? Queen b3 should be able to cover that.
right, but
But
then
knight b6, is knight b6 a threat?
no, bishop e7. Watch out! Alert!
Right,
alert!
so you can't move that, but he's got one more move though.
and he just
one
did it.
more turn and he's
Bishop
going to do it.
d8.
How
Bishop
does
d8.
how does
The
he deal
rook
with
b7 looks a little bit
b6.
vulnerable.
Knight b6 looks tricky. You're going to have to sack an exchange somewhere. How do you deal with it? And those bishops on the back row just stopping
Amazing.
any incursions.
How
And
about-
he's played rook to b5.
But with 22 seconds, Maurice, he's
Yes, a
way
lot of
underneath
time.
Daka now.
And knight b6.
Oh,
whoa, knight
knight takes-
e5. And there he goes. He's won an exchange. What a move. c4.
By Hikaru,
What an interesting idea.
and he slipped across.
But look at that bishop, d6, rook b8 quickly.
And
I
Hikaru's
don't
just
know.
playing
Hikaru
this
was
so...
acting like it's nothing, but these pieces look really good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. I mean,
it's the poker.
he's giving the impression that I've got a blueprint for victory.
Well, the
Is
guy has only
Hikaru.
10 seconds left.
Oh,
Cannot
wow.
react, cannot just relax. You've got to
No.
start making moves.
Oh my
5
God, he
seconds.
forgot about the clock.
Rook takes b5 and bishop b6. That looks like game over.
Rook
rook
C3 is
c3
even worse. It's
and
over.
bishop b6.
Three.
It's just
King at
king
h8.
can just move,
Yeah.
no problem. This is resigns.
Bishop b6.
Queen d5. What's
Bishop
wrong with
b6.
just taking the knight also? But you're right, bishop b6 is strong. Rook takes, queen doesn't care.
Oh my goodness! How
Brutal
many
is
times can
right
you hit
now.
that knight on e3?
This is just over. He's
Queen
praying
G1,
for one more move.
No threat. D8
There's
is
not even a
covered.
threat.
Yeah, D8
Naka
is
is
covered.
looking, smelling mate somewhere.
Right.
But the light squares are pretty well covered, so just dropping back with his rook. Oh, a trick!
Oh
Rook
yes,
F8
there
is
is a
mate.
trick. Okay, there's still Queen G1, Shack. Oh,
That trick didn't last very long.
It
Queen F7.
sure didn't.
A second trick, trying for Queen F8. Wait,
Oh my goodness!
what's
is
this
there a
one?
trick? No.
no, Nako says
Rook
sorry.
Hey, sorry.
Don't pretend. We still have this under control.
Check and rook
this check,
h5 is over. So no,
rook
it's,
c2 should do the job. He's played rook
it's-
c3 instead. And this is now finally resigns. What a boss exhibition by Hikaru.
wow.
He makes it look so easy, so
Doesn't he?
effortless. Why did I pick against him?
And here we have Navara and So. This match is tied up as far as the Blitz. Of course, So big lead in the overall match.
And David
David's
has
up
just
for
won an
exchange.
exchange. It's busted. Wesley is going to lose back-to-back games as David Navara, an exchange to the good. I just don't know what the clock times are.
He's
John.
ahead on the time also.
That's
Oh.
He's ahead on the clock. He's ahead. I mean, on
And
everything.
this-
Everything.
and the
he's
check
ahead.
good.
round.
My pick's
Grandmaster.
going down, guys.
Just take on g5 now. You could have taken on
Yeah.
g5 and rook
G8
over to g8,
was
and I would
the
have won
simplest.
easily. But
Easy.
now, oh, what's this? This is just the h pawn is gone. You got to
Yep.
resign.
He
And he
resigned.
Your pick's not looking great either.
I know. Well, I have
Jen?
to shout out to David, who
What's
decided to wear a
happening?
T-shirt today. A very
Yeah.
classy individual. I'm sure he was dying to wear a suit jacket, but actually I heard from the arbiters that they wanted to make very clear that today the dress code was a little bit more relaxed.
Exactly.
And that's because wearing a suit jacket while playing Blitz can be very difficult. It can actually make you play slower.
Exactly.
So you show up to the game in a suit, but then you can take off your suit jacket. And you actually see right there David's Grand Chessboard jacket is on its chair.
Exactly.
right,
I've
well, we
always
have
liked
some
to
results.
play Blitz.
Fabi did it again.
Oh my goodness.
Stop it. We don't want to look at that match anymore. It's just
Oh my goodness.
awful.
Let's take a look at our results, Jen. How many decisive games have we seen in this, the third
It wasn't.
round?
It wasn't necessarily well, there were decisive games. There were 3 decisive games, the same as number as before, I believe. But Sam drew, and Topalov drew, and Dominguez drew. But Wesley So going down, Duda winning, Duda losing, and
David Navara winning.
But Fabi, stop. I mean, just like,
wow.
The problem is that for strong players, when they have nothing to play for, and that's the feeling that
Harikrishna
has, he's looking at this going, I really don't want to play anymore. This match is just dead. It's over. And he has no real motivation to play. He's embarrassed. He's playing the second best player, the second highest rated player in the world. And you're losing game after game, and the other guy's confidence is way up. No matter what the position on the board, you're losing.
Right.
You could be better on the board. Sorry, you're going to lose the game. You know this has happened. I've been in the same situation where you lose the lost games. You lose the drawn games. You lose the won games because the person just has your brain and you can't play. You're on tilt and you can't play. And that's where Harry is. He just cannot put up a fight.
Right.
Terrible situation for him.
Very, very bad. And the results, Jim.
Here we have it. We had 3 decisive games with Nakamura extending his lead, Fabi extending his lead, and the only person to actually narrow the score is David Navara, as he's got 2 Blitz wins, but such a huge lead amassed by Wesley. He's going to have to win several more to try to get back into the overall match.
And there you see Fabiano closing in on that 24.5-point score. He's got 18 points from the Rapid, 3 out of 3 today in the Blitz, giving him a total of 21. All he needs is 24.5 points, Jen. 3.5 points more, and Fabi's got his match. He'll be the first to clinch.
And we're going to get started with round 7 quite soon, round four of the Blitz. Okay. But yes, I got to tell you, when I was listening to Maurice, I was thinking a little bit about poker and how the poker format that people probably go the most on tilt in is heads up. And that's because you don't have a lot of recovery time. If you lose a big hand, then it's your move again. Whereas in like a format with 6 or 9 players, a lot of the times you're folding.
Right.
And I think that's very
and it
analogous.
Takes 20 minutes for the hand to be
exactly.
completed.
And so you might be in another big hand, it might be another 20 minutes. And that's very analogous to why tilt and emotional things are very similar in Blitz chess, because emotional trends, because you don't have time to recover. Right, and in this format in particular, the breaks are pretty short.
Right.
So you don't have a lot of time to recover. You can't go back to the hotel and sleep it off.
Right. Or bang your head against the wall.
Exactly.
Oh, you can always do that.
So,
but as a poker professional, you have that awareness of okay, you got to be calm, but also not to go on tilt.
And if you do go on tilt, a lot of the time, the recommended thing to do is to stop playing for a little while, because usually if you're playing a cash game, you can leave at any moment.
Right.
And for instance, if you're playing on an internet server and you're trying to get a higher rating, you can do the same thing. You've lost 3 games in a row. Maybe you're on tilt. Maybe you're not in a good zone. You can just stop playing. Okay. And I saw Nakamura actually recommend that once in an interview about how to improve your Blitz rating.
Right.
He said, if you're doing really well, don't stop playing.
Okay.
And if you're doing badly, don't be afraid.
Luck.
Yeah, exactly.
So your advice to Hari would be?
Well, he's signed a contract saying he'll play all the games. Yes. He's got no choice.
He can't call a timeout and
no.
I left my jacket at the hotel. Let me go run back and get my jacket.
But hey, this is a difficult psychological task, and it's a tournament where there's a lot of money at stake, a lot of Blitz and Rapid rating. But if you think of it in a way as preparation for perhaps even bigger stages like World Cup or World Championship, where you have to play
the training, the classic, the Rapid, and the Blitz playoff.
And you have to deal with difficult emotional situations there. Like, of course, when Fabiano was down 2 games in the Rapid, and he still needed to play that 3rd game, right?
Exactly.
Or 1.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he still had to play the 3rd game, and that's a tough situation in this type of training where it's a awful situation. You don't want to keep playing, but you have to.
Right.
I think that's good emotional training for some other situations that unfortunately every chess player, every competitor is going to have to face at some point.
Bingo. Exactly right. There we saw a contrast. But Maurice, you got the live rating.
Well, I just looked at a stat that anybody over 30 is not going to be happy to see.
Uh-oh.
In Blitz,
In Blitz.
there are only 3 players in the world who are in the top 16 who are 30 or over.
It's a young man's game.
It's absolutely Blitz more than any. There's one player who is 31, and that's Hikaru. I bet you won't guess the next two. You might get one, but I don't think you're going to get two.
I'm going to go with the Russian Grishuk.
Nope.
I'm going to go with Anand.
Grishuk is not currently in the top 16. He's number 17.
I was going
And
to
the
go with
games have
Anand.
begun.
And
Round
Anand, I
4.
want to tell you, it's not Anand.
Oh,
the
no.
two are Peter's Fiddler. When you said Russian, I thought
Yeah, he's going to get one.
he was going to be one of them. And Mickey Adams.
Yeah, Mickey.
Mickey Adams. So they're just repeating their opening from
Yeah.
earlier. But just to
The first
say,
game.
guy like Harikrishna, he might have aged out already at 31 or 32
That's
years old.
crazy.
You're 30 or older. You got to face off against these young guns who, I mean,
Right.
their nerve twitching is just so superb. It's incredible.
That
Hey,
is an amazing
I don't know
stat.
Nakamura at 31 likes being aged out of Blitz.
I know.
And even
He's going to
somebody
say,
like
wait a minute, I can compete.
even somebody like Feingold, who is of course not one of the great in the world, but has
Spring
always been
chickens.
so good at bullets.
It's so fast.
So fast.
His
Yes, and so much
hand-eye
so much
coordination is
stronger
amazing.
at bullet and blitz than he is at classical chess. Although of course he's no slouch in any of the formats. But okay, what do
By the
we
way,
say?
knight takes d4, and this, Hikaru had played knight e4 in that earlier game reference, but knight takes d4, this was where I said, you don't want to take on d5 and allow that bishop takes h7 check trick, but you have to play knight b6 in order to recapture the pawn this way. And let's see what Hikaru did after knight b6. I didn't see.
He hasn't moved
the
yet,
camera.
at least on my board.
No, there's something on f5.
Did he move?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he put the knight there.
He put the knight there. So he's eyeballing an opportunity to win the two bishops, and he's giving back the pawn.
Yeah, so quickly go back two moves. Just one.
two.
That's it. I love this construction of the pieces on the D line. All those pieces. It's very rare that you see this happen.
8.
But all 8 squares on the D file
Occupied.
by something. You just don't see that geometric every day of the week, but it, of course, quickly changed after 2 moves.
Delicious.
It looks like an 8 scoops of ice cream, yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Bishop f4. Okay. I just don't see how Hikaru is going to make hay out of this position. d6, I think you're just asking for too much trouble after d6, bishop takes, queen takes d6. And it's happened. I think Hikaru's overplayed his hand with this move d6.
Well, he's gotten the 2 bishops, he's going to argue.
Yeah, but wow,
But
isn't
what
he
does it
fallen?
mean?
Hasn't he fallen considerably behind, though,
G3
in
play.
development? G3. Okay, that's an important tempo because bishop takes h2 was on tap. So
All right, where do you put this bishop is his question. Right now, does he play bishop e5 and limit White's opportunity to develop that bishop on c1? That's the most active move for sure.
But he could also go bishop h6 to ensure that anytime this knight on d2 does move away, he can trade off the dark square
The
bishops.
dark square bishop. So it's a challenging moment. Duda not playing
Bishop takes d. The one move we did not
I
consider.
didn't think he wanted to give up
Whoa.
the second bishop in
Whoa.
this position.
Okay, the trick
But there's some tricks.
I think is maybe bishop takes d2, queen e5. That's not much of a trick. Hold on.
Queen
What?
e5, I don't believe.
Yeah, well, I was trying to do a double hit.
Yeah, but
The
queen
pawn on-
b1 at the worst case
Yeah,
to save
and
that. I'm thinking something on the file would
So
be
what
a
do you
challenge.
think? Bishop takes d2. Knight c. What
He's
does
played
he have in
queen
mind?
takes instead.
I wonder what he had in mind after bishop takes. Queen takes was Hikaru's choice. And by the way, just while we'll watch the game, but that stat you said about 31-year-olds and Blitz is so amazing. Is it also true for the ladies? Do the ladies?
Probably even more true for the ladies, because remember that every single grandmaster who's a woman is alive. So I think the ladies tournaments kind of skew young, not only because of the importance of youth and getting stronger, but also because in previous generations women weren't quite as serious about chess. So we might need to wait another generation to find out the ideal age in the women's section.
You mean
A
it skews older, the women? right? The top women are going to be the better players at all time controls, I would think. Because all the top players, like you said, are all alive and they're all GMs. But anyway, we can argue that another time. This one here, I don't like what Duda did
at
all.
But that's a strange move by Hikaru. Queen takes b2. There is a trick. Queen takes b2. Bishop d4. Alert, alert, alert. The queen on b2 will be trapped. So queen d3.
Why? What?
Queen takes b2,
Queen
bishop
B4.
d4.
Queen b4?
But the queens have come off. I thought you were just trying to take on something on h7.
Oh my goodness! Why didn't he take on b2? Because this is usually the very end game when you have the two knights that you want to avoid.
Huge edge for white, right?
I would think so. I would think so.
This looks like Botvinnik taking you to school.
Yeah.
I would not want to play against these.
Yeah, you
bishops.
pay to get this position.
Yeah.
You would give up all your cookies.
No, a handful. No, not all the.
You're smiling. Oh my God, your face right now.
I'm all aglow.
The problem for the knights, the problem is, although you see centralized knights here, the problem is those squares are not secure. You don't have an anchor pawn defending this knight on d5, and you don't see anywhere that the knight can go to that will have a new anchor square. So right now, Nakamura is just trying to figure out where to put his pieces, get his bishops out the way. If he could put them on f1 and e1, and say, they go. They just get out the way, find some squares. Now he's getting his bishop to the b3 square, and you see that knight leave d5 quickly. So there goes one bishop, and he said, yeah, let's play against your rooks. And we see this trade, and now he said, let's now get rid of the rooks, and we're going to fight these knights with my bishops. You've got to be attracted to the bishops in this kind of position, unless the knights can harass in some kind of strange way, but I don't see how he does it.
Well, that's a beautiful ending, no doubt about it. But let's just quickly take a look at the game between Sam and Richard, as it looks to me like Sam's closing in on a victory here, guys. He's an exchange down, but he's got two pawns for it, and he's got this move, queen h4 check on tap to win the exchange back, as well as knight h5. This looks like
winning.
Total cruise control for our U.S. champion.
Sam is back.
Nice position. That looks
And
like white
man,
is
how big a point swing was that?
It's
loss?
2.5.
Because he could have won that game he lost on time.
True. So you would be able to have like 9.5 against 18.5. You would still be behind, but you would be making such a statement in the Blitz. And hey, he is making a statement. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get back to that end game, though. I think let's see how Nakamura handles it technically
Rapport might resign
as we've gotten to this position. And now look at those knights. Poor knights are getting harassed by the bishops. And 7 seconds for Duda on the clock to 20 seconds for Nakamura. Tick-tock, your time is going. That was a lot of time spent on those last couple of moves, and Nakamura knows he has him by the tail.
This is also the advantage of the bishops, is like you can do so many quick and easy moves.
Bishop e7 is a threat.
Yes.
Be careful.
Be careful indeed. Bishop back to g2, perhaps.
And now Bishop e7 is a threat, so you have to leave.
Right.
And here comes the king to join the party.
Those knights aren't anchored yet.
You will not find any anchor squares.
No, there's no good protections on the middle of the board. However, this move does set up for a knight fork with knight to e5 check to eliminate one of those atrocious bishops.
Made a funny dance.
Okay.
He's got to pay attention to the trick. He found an anchor square. That was important.
Yes, he
did.
Not
that it's a long-term one, but now he's trying to harass the king. He's trying to use the king as a fulcrum.
A lot better.
A little better than they used
5
to.
seconds for Nakamura, by the way. Now they're even on the clock.
That's right.
Whoa.
He can check on c6, just do it.
Yeah.
And then check on e7.
And Hikaru is just...
What's the problem? Is the king
problem
coming
is
in?
that the bishop e5 is in the air.
Why didn't he check him on e7? Wasn't that bad?
He should have indeed. And king even...
Now 2 seconds only. 1 second he had on the clock. And he's in trouble.
King f6, let's go. No.
Another check.
King e5 and king f6. Come on, Hikaru. No.
And he's just got some time on the clock to be able to repeat. He's repeating.
No.
No, thank you, said Hikaru. 7 seconds on the clock. Knight b4. Wow. That's a committal move. That pawn is weak now.
Nakamura is not accepting a 3-move repetition from Alpha Zero in that position.
How do you say this, though?
He could be playing God.
Good point.
I got the 2 bishops.
I got the 2
He's
bishops.
going to be in Zugzwang soon, guys,
Bishop
because
C4 check. No, not quite yet.
that pawn on he's got to
B4,
move. That
long-term
pawn
weakness.
on B4, he created that weakness. Oh no, now an H pawn is going to show up.
H4.
There it is. He's got to take now. Don't think. Whoa!
Whoa, takes on
Big
G4.
time decision. Is
And
King E5
take
winning?
none.
King E5 looks winning.
Oh no, you missed
That's
it.
it.
You missed
Johnny Ball. What is that? That's just a random check.
Yeah.
Woo! He didn't even look at him while he
Duda.
shook his hand.
Disgusted with himself at the end there as Hikaru
Nakamura.
Blitz.
But those are the 2
King.
bishops, Yaz.
I know,
You were
I know.
salivating just when you saw them.
Well, I was raised also with the Michael Bodvinik School of Chess from far distance, I might add. And Leinier. Leinier
I
got
don't even want to
in.
talk about what happened again to Fabi and Pentala Harikrishna.
No.
And then let's not talk about it. Sam won. Of course, we saw that as it was going down.
We
Fabi won
expected.
his 4th Blitz game in a row.
On
And
the trot, as it just goes from bad to just atrociously
so
bad.
Navara was a draw. So
And here we go. 4 decisive wins. Decisive.
and that's right, as Nakamura has 3.5 against Duda. And we've got Fabiano Caruana 4-0. Oh my God. The other Blitz matches, Yaz, are actually pretty close. 2-2.
Right.
Topalov Dominguez, 2.5 in favor of Navara and 2.5 in favor of Shankland. So 3 of these Blitz games are going toe to toe, but
Right.
Naka and Caruana just can't stop winning. And
Exactly.
Cristian Chirila is with Fabiano as we're taking a slightly longer break than usual. Fabi's with Cristian.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Fabiano Caruana, who is simply making a statement in his return here at the St. Louis Chess Club. First of all, congratulations. Take us through the match up to this point in the Blitz section.
Yeah, it's. Things couldn't have really gone better. It's not like I've been getting crushing positions out of the opening or anything, but when tactics start, usually I come out ahead. And especially in the last game, at some point he started out playing me positionally, but then when it became sharp, I was just, I guess, tactically more aware.
Through this dominant performance, how do you keep motivated for the rest of the match?
Well, it's still, first of all, not over. It's, of course, a huge and probably insurmountable lead, but it's still not theoretically over. And even if the match is decided before then I still find motivation to play good games. And there's also rating at stake, which is not the biggest motivator, but it's something.
What do you think is the reason for the collapse of Pentala? Because he's such a strong player, yet he cannot find himself.
Well, in Blitz it can go wrong very quickly, and you play multiple games in a short period of time. It's easy to get tilted, and if things start to not go your way, we've seen this on both sides. Players who start a run, they can win 8-9 games in a row, and players who start to collapse, they can lose many games in a row. It's happened to me on both sides as well.
Well, thank you very much, Fabi, for your time, and good luck in the rest of your games. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Cristian. Indeed, Blitz is about momentum. And oftentimes when you get on a roll, you just think to yourself, why doesn't this always happen? Why don't I always get to play and win a series of games in a row, Jennifer?
Why aren't you always the best version of yourself?
Exactly.
Why can't you all have
That's my
that
question.
10 a.m. coffee high the entire day?
Exactly.
Like, that's the question when you're rolling in chess. That's what it feels like.
I know.
That 10 a.m. coffee high, or 9 a.m. depending on when you wake up, 6 a.m. It's like you got it the whole day.
And you got to turn that switch. I remember I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. There's a knock on the door. I open up the door, and there's Miguel Najdorf, one of the great legends of chess. And he says to me, Yasser, we have to play Blitz. I said, Miguel, I'm in my PJs, I'm sleeping. He says, yes, but right now I know I could play the brilliancy of my life. He wanted to play Blitz, and he had no opponent. I said, good night.
That's right.
Click.
Thank God we have online chess,
I know. But sometimes you're just in a mood.
Momentum,
Maurice.
and you made this point. We said about rapid chess that momentum is, don't trust it. Don't trust momentum, because you have these long games and some individual game could possibly turn things around. But in Blitz, you absolutely trust momentum. Unfortunately, for the person who's losing, it happens. You start getting hammered and you have to play again, and you don't want to play just now. Oop, another game and another game. And it's happening. It's coming at you so fast. It's like somebody punching, like a boxer hitting, and then a flurry of punches back and forth, and they're just coming at you. And you need time to recuperate, get out of the, it's painful. Where's the bell? Where's the bell? And before you know it, you're knocked out. And that's what's happening right now as Harikrishna is going down in a way that just isn't logical at all. Isn't logical based on how strong he is. But it's very logical because his mind is gone. And it's all Fabi now, looking like a beast.
Absolutely.
And so far, let's take a look at our predictions. Well, apparently Maurice and I are not on fire today at the prediction department yet.
No.
We still got another 16 rounds.
You guys should be proud. It's all about competing and being
20.
able to compete.
We got 20 rounds.
I mean, Cristian.
Oh, was this only for today?
Yeah, this is today's.
Okay, we only got 8 rounds left to
Cristian
come
and
back.
I are going toe to toe. Duda's been in all the games, but he's only managed 1 draw, whereas Fabi's opponent Hari has lost all of his games. So Cristian looking like in golden today.
We need sad faces of our faces as well to kind of line up with our predictions.
Exactly.
But thanks, guys. We're going to take a quick break before we get into the games 5 through 8 here at the Blitz. And I'm going to leave you with story time with Yasser.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. In the late 80s, there were numerous private tournaments that were really of an extremely high prestige. And this is a story about one tournament I was playing in Tilburg. We're staying at a very, very nice hotel, and each of the players had their own bungalow. The TV had a video cassette player that was played from the lobby. So from your TV, you could watch Dutch TV if you wanted, German TV, or you could play the movie that was being looped from the reception. I was really movie buff, and I turned on the movie, and I was watching this movie, and it was a horror movie that was getting progressively weirder and weirder and weirder. And it was called The Shining. And it was about a writer who was descending into madness. It was getting really, really, really spooky. And after 1 hour, I decided that I wanted to watch the rest of the movie in the lobby because I was all alone in my bungalow and I didn't like where this movie was going. So off I went into the lobby, and as I walked into the lobby, it was like 10 people suddenly cheering me and giving me an applause as I sat down to watch the movie. And as I looked around, I realized that I was the very last participant of the tournament. They had all been watching the movie as well, but they had all collectively and individually come into the lobby earlier than I did. I was the last holdout, and thought it was really funny. We all watched the movie together till the final conclusion in the lobby.
In the martial itself, I've never been over it. One big line to the one. They will coordinate those.
Can you hear it? It's the sound of hope and health and strength. It's the sound of compassion, of open doors, where people and machines are in tune and miracles occur. It's the sound of personalized healthcare and active communities. It sounds like life, and it's what you hear when you really listen.
Hi, I'm John Urschel, former NFL offensive lineman. There's not too many things more intimidating than staring into the face of a 300-pound NFL defensive lineman. Beginning March 18th, the best chess players in the U.S. will be staring each other down for the coveted U.S. Championship title. This will be the 11th championship held at the St. Louis Chess Club, featuring 12 of the top chess players in America. Fans can watch all the action in person at the St. Louis Chess Club or online. For more information, go to stlouischessclub.org.
St. Louis University is celebrating its 200th anniversary. Offering world-class education in the heart of St. Louis, SLU attracts students and professors from around the globe. In 2015, SLU partnered with the St. Louis Chess Club to start a top-tiered collegiate chess team. On the very first year of the team's inception, SLU obtained second-best university at the Pan American Intercollegiate Chess Championships. Higher purpose, greater good. St. Louis University.
You may have heard about St. Louis's world-class museums. Art, history, science, even magic. But you may not know we have an entire museum dedicated to play, with a 10-story slide and a Ferris wheel on top. Don't let all this family fun slide by you. Whose kids it is? St. Lou is always exploring. Anybody?
And we are back for Champion Showdown. The Kings and the Kings today are playing Blitz, Yaz. And that's fun for us as we see a couple of blowouts so far in the Blitz with Fabiano racking up the 4-0 score.
Exactly.
And Nakamura at 3.5. But the other Blitz matches have been quite close.
Exactly. Maybe it's time to turn our spotlight perhaps to our U.S. champion.
Let's do
Sam
it.
Shankland,
Let's
who
do it.
leads 2.5, 1.5 against Richard Rapport, even though his rapid was a disaster. And look at them go. They're fired up, Jen.
He's coming with a lot of desires, saying, man, maybe I'll win the Blitz, even though you got me in the rapid. And maybe if I win enough Blitz, you'll
respect me, even if the match turns out in your favor. Okay, knight I was about to say knight e4. Knights love centralized outpost. Knight e4 was ideal, and Sam wanted to get rid of his light squared bishop so that he could play for e7, e5. Maurice,
control those dark squares.
But did he make the right choice there?
This is all timing. If the Knights can get an anchor quickly, then yes. But there goes e4 on the board, trying to show that the light squares are his indeed. And e5 will be very difficult to execute without giving up some kind of weakness in the position. But it seems to me that e5 is well timed here.
You got to do it.
Just play the move, and you might end up with an isolated pawn.
And he's done it.
And he's done it. Knight takes, but he's hitting that bishop on f3. And the only way you produce an isolated pawn is by trading, and he's done so. Traded on e5 very quickly, and then took on d5, and he's gotten that isolated pawn that he wanted after pawn takes.
He didn't recapture with a knight. That's a little bit of a surprise.
Queen b3. And now queen f6, very quickly giving away the pawn on d5.
Whoa, but Sam is wait a minute. If it was black to move, queen f4 would be quite a powerful move as queen coming to h2. So the bishop takes d5 was forced, but wait a minute, I'm a pawn grabber.
What's the justification for giving away this pawn
Right.
so quickly, so instantaneously, and now stopping to think about the position? Well, if he could trade queens, the last thing he wants to do is trade knight for bishop. He'd rather have the opposite colored bishop position with some pluses for himself, being a pawn down. But knight takes bishop leaves him with the minor pieces being dissimilar, and that kind of formation with the bishop not proving anything would be fine as soon as the knight enters the game. So that's why he avoided capturing this pawn, and we go back, capturing the bishop, I should say, and he's instead played rook to d8 and rook d1 instantly was the response. This is the game.
Rook
and
D8,
now a
rook D1.
bishop on b7 after b6, bishop to b7. What a strange choice. Knight to e6.
He would have loved to have played bishop to f3. He didn't want to face the consequences of bishop f3, queen f4.
But how can that bishop be good on b7? Knight e6 threatening knight c5 instantly. And the knight is also going to venture towards the king's side as well. So here's a trade. I don't think Sam's going to allow a double trade of rooks, although it's starting to look a little bit drawish if he could trade queens.
Okay.
Because, again, the opposite colored bishops. But this position,
rook takes rook d1 on the board. Yep.
Knight c5 would force a trade of rooks and then a trade of queens.
But that would be good because then you'd have knight a4 at the end of the day.
Then the knight c4 hitting your bishop.
Knight c4 hits the bishop. That's such an important tempo. And
Yeah, so he wants...
So Richard's still for choice with his extra pawn.
But I don't know, because it just looks like black should be able to get some play here. But knight c5 allows too many trades.
Right.
Unless there's another trick waiting somewhere in the position. But it doesn't seem like he can organize his pieces.
And
he's played the move.
Knight
he's there.
d5.
Queen d5.
And played for queen g.
Whoa.
I like that
What's
move.
this? Queen, this is the trick we were talking about.
Move.
A queen c1 action in the position.
Exactly. Hello.
And be careful, because your bishop on b7 is hanging, is under threat.
That's right.
This one just taking advantage of the knight's temporal misplacement on a5. And this move is a boss move.
So what happens after g3? G3 to make room. Yeah, I don't think you can go down and...
But I could take your bishop and then play check and then take your pawn on
And then
b2.
after knight, and he's done it, he's given back his pawn. Knight takes b7, queen takes b7, queen c1 check.
Whoa, I got another one.
Okay.
bishop G3, knight takes B7 and bishop G3. You
Okay.
take queen C1 check. Don't I pick off your knight?
I like that. No, bishop takes, no, knight B7, queen
Oh, he's taking it in
bishop
C3. He's going a different way. Take it on
Okay.
C3 now. Same deal. He's after that knight, and he's left the bishop as a poor piece on B7. This looks good, too.
No, I like Sam's choice a lot.
This is
Richard
clear.
did not play this well, Jennifer. Not at all.
Sam found the action on the dark squares. You got to use your pluses, and he found it with this tactical shot. Bishop takes on C3, and
whole
now
idea
no
is-
disadvantage to black anywhere.
The whole idea being B takes E3, queen takes A3. This knight on C5 is actually much better than this bishop.
Much better.
Which is
a bishop on
poorly
B7.
placed.
When we saw it the first time, we didn't like that
We
placement.
need to get it to D5 somehow.
Taking a
Yeah,
while,
well,
though.
I was about to say, isn't it time for bishop C6, bishop E8 type of action?
Or queen D5, queen D8 check followed by bishop D5.
Similar
It's gonna
thing. I
take
got to
more moves,
line
though.
up. Got to line up on that F7 pawn.
Knight C4.
Knight
Knight C4
C4 looks
played.
like a good start.
Oh, the knight's headed to D6.
Knight D6
Be
is
careful for that.
again, I'm thinking, Sam made this big incursion on the dark squares thanks to his dark square bishop. It's all about getting some light square action. If you're Richard, you want to play knight D6 and maybe bishop C6 to E8, and you'd be back, role reversal, what I want to say.
Bishop takes B2, right?
So knight D6 we're expecting. And how does Sam want to deal with that? Because that will be a big threat of queen takes F7 and mate on F8. No, he
By the
reached
way-
for his bishop.
By the way, that
Bishop?
crazy sacrifice I talked about on G3
Was a good
was the best move and was better for black.
Exactly.
He should have.
It looked great.
The line he played was not the best. Bishop takes G3, and now
I'm not even sure what was this move all about. Bishop C8. He could have played bishop to C6 to E8, or what would he
Well,
have
now
played
with
after
knight
knight
D6, knight D6, queen F6 played now. So
That's a clear thing. Why
wait a
didn't he
second.
play
There's a
knight
trick.
D6?
There's a trick on E8, guys. There's a trick on E8
Okay.
that he has to. Why he wants to move his bishop. Bishop A6. Look at that. He's saying take my piece because he has a trick on E8. Queen A8 and then knight E8. Bishop D5. Doesn't that miss the trick? Queen A8. There it is. He fell for it. King G7, knight E8 check.
Oh, man. And Rapport evens the score.
Oh, that is blunderful by
But let's
Yes.
go back to
Sam.
Nakamura's game against
This is-
Duda. Nakamura
this is why
is
he
shaking his head
resigned.
vigorously. He's got 7 seconds left as we jump in. And why is he shaking his head, Yaz?
Because that's what Nakamura,
Nakamura does all the time,
All the
right?
Well,
time.
he's also getting killed on the board.
Oh, well, that's a different thing.
He's down a pawn and about to go down more stuff,
3 seconds left on his clock.
and his
Oh,
time
dear.
is bad.
Oh, dear.
Rook, yeah, and his position is about to collapse.
Oh, dear.
He's got to find a move, and there goes the bishop. Takes,
And that
knight
pawn's
takes,
hanging.
Very quick.
second pawn.
He's taken the rook, takes the rook, check,
Check.
defends the pawn on G6. He's hitting F2.
Whoa! Knight F5.
Big
Pass
time
move by Duda.
Duda.
And we've got
A
a
big
win.
time move.
First victory of the day by Duda, who now holds 1.5 to 3.5 versus Nakamura. But let's jump into Navara, who's gotten the better of Wesley So far in the Blitz.
Okay.
By the way, Dominguez won.
Fabby.
Did we note that? Dominguez won his
Dominguez
game.
won. Great. 2 victories for Dominguez, 1 for Veselin so far today.
I want to close my eyes as Fabiano won again, guys.
He sure did.
5
5 in a
zip.
row.
Wow.
He's going to
When it-
close out the match
when
in
it-
2 games
When it rains, it pours.
to win 7 in a row. But this one, Navara about to win back his piece.
He just
we got
sacrificed.
We got King
To
B5
get-
now.
Fabby
and
did
it looks
win
like this
indeed.
one
And
is going to be
This
even
is
Steven.
about as drawn as you can draw.
whoa, whoa,
a
whoa,
draw.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Is it? Oh, I thought.
Our king is cut off, but
Oh my goodness!
But you can't win this position. This has to be a draw.
No, exactly. Of course it does. Of
and
course,
I think that's
of course.
this is our remaining game though, so that's why we're sticking with that. Fabies getting off to that 5-0 start. Nakamura finally falling.
Actually,
to
Wesley
Duda.
has to be a little careful. He
Yeah, I was
doesn't
about to
lose this
say.
position with that bad king.
That king is horrendous.
And
What
rook
is he
G5 now.
doing?
What's the problem?
King
Oh, he decided to
F4.
move his king up. And there goes the second. Whoa, wait a minute. Black is in big trouble now.
That's
he's
it.
lost.
Game over.
He's lost. Wow, from a pawn up to a loss ending just on activity alone. And Navara showing his stuff.
Whoa.
I don't think any of our picks are good today.
But speak for yourself, young buck.
Who did you pick? Oh, you picked
I
Naka.
picked Naka. Fabiano, 5-0. Christian made an amazing pick there. Wow. Recap that round for us. How many decisive games were there, Jennifer? Because Nakamura is just amazing. He's a man on fire.
But Nakamura, you mean Fabi?
Pardon me,
Fabi
Fabi
won 5 in a row. Nakamura
5 in a row.
actually lost.
No.
His only game of the Blitz so far. All 5 games decisive.
That's
Dominguez won, Duda won, and then we had
Fabi won.
Fabi won. And we saw Navara win.
Sam Shankland lost because there it is. Sam Shankland lost because he missed that tactic.
That's right. So here you have it, Yaz. 3 Americans win, and Nakamura and Shankland went down.
Okay, and there you can see the Blitz scores that David Navara has scored 3.5.
This is wrong,
against
though, right?
Wesley So's 1.5.
It's 1-0 Navara, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's just a typo.
Yeah, that was the switch.
That's a typo, but Navara. So that means actually that only 2 Americans won this round, and 3 of the visitors won.
But Topalov has a 3-2 result in the Blitz, and Richard 2.5. So Sam Shankland and Richard are actually going toe-to-toe, and that's the only match in the Blitz that's even at this point.
And let's go over to Maurice.
Sam is just so upset with himself.
Looks a little punch-drunk after that one. Yes, of course, because here, this is a position we saw Blitz go by lightning quick, and I had noticed this tactic, knight takes b7. The point being, queen takes b7, runs into bishop takes on g3, and after pawn takes, queen c1 check, and this knight is going to drop off the board with checks, I might add. After check, no matter what you do, takes, guards his pawn, and it's black who's up a pawn in this position. After knight takes b7, it's best to play knight c4 and go into that position where black will be fine anyway. However, Sam went for the other line with queen c1 check, and after king g2, bishop takes on c3. Now, already the Indians has spotted a win with queen d8, bishop d5. That's hard to see. The game ended up knight c4, bishop b2, bishop c8. A couple of weird moves. These were not impressive, but it was this move suddenly. The little bit of trickery in the moment. Now, I had noticed it from here. I didn't know where to put the bishop, like hide it somewhere. He decided to put it on a6, kind of suggesting you take it. It's funny because the suggestion is if you take it, you're going to lose. So why doesn't Sam take it instead play bishop d4? It seemed weird that he didn't realize the point of the fact that there's a hanging piece, because the point was you couldn't take it because of this check, king up, and now, oops, knight to e8 with check. Always difficult to see knights landing on the back row on the other side of the board. Remember, then Kramnik dropped a mate. I believe it was to Fritz.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a computer match.
I was there for that match.
Yes, he dropped a mate because there was a knight sitting on f8, and the queen played queen 8-7. The computer played queen 8-7 mate, and it was like, what? The knight is on the back rank, is doing work. Yeah. These are moves that are very difficult to see, and so you want to make sure you train for these kind of moves. But Sam missed it in the Blitz moment and ended up losing a game that he was okay.
So you're saying this isn't going to make it into Shankland's next book or Kramnik's best games collection?
No. Quick consensus, guys. What match?
Duda Nakamura.
Duda Nakamura. How are you feeling, Maurice? Which match has gotten your undivided attention?
We need to see Leinier and Veselin go at it once, though, guys. I mean,
that's good too.
That's a match that is. We got to give everybody some play.
A little bit.
And we'll get back to Duda and Nakamura because they're so good, and probably we'll spend a lot of time on them in later, maybe tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
But right now, we should look at Topi and Dominguez as looks like they're punching each other pretty good.
So you break the tie for Topalov? You want to see that, or you want to see Duda?
I don't know who to follow.
Tom, break the tie.
You or Maurice? You or me? I'm going to go with a girl.
More of the same? I mean, we're going to see a lot of them.
Okay, let's do Leinier.
No, I'm okay with that as well.
Veselin.
I just know that, of course, Nakamura has this massive fan base. It's always
It's
fun
all good.
to take a look at his games, especially after he's lost. But let's start with Dominguez and
All
Topalov,
right.
and we'll keep an eye on
Very
Duda.
Keep an eye on the other
game
game for
dries
sure.
out.
Other games as well. It's unfortunate that we are not following Fabi's games. He's running up such a number that
He's hitting the trampoline in rapid, and he's going to hit the trampoline in blitz.
I think he's top 10 already in blitz now.
Wow. What?
Because of this massive rating gain.
Yeah, 47 rating points were gained in the rapid. I think that was only top,
So unofficially, he's 9th in the world in blitz.
Wow.
And that's just, it's sort of unfair. I mean, beating up on one guy and just taking all those points from him. And you can see Harikrishna there. The body language says, please stop.
Yeah.
And we will stop looking at those games for sure.
The Veselin Topalov, had a former world champion, leads in the match. He has black. He's facing Leinier Dominguez, originally from Cuba, who's just changed federations to the United States Chess Federation. Welcome Leinier to the U.S. And he trails 18-11.
He needs a couple of wins.
Great guy, both of these guys. But Dominguez, it's wonderful to have him for U.S. chess, not only because of his chess, but also because of his personality.
An exceptionally nice person. He's just
a gent.
Yeah, absolutely. Knight c3, let's go. c5, all very, very standard opening play. Who will be the first to deviate? Well, knight takes c3 is a little bit off the beaten track. And the reason that Veselin took on c3 is Veselin is anticipating that the c file will be the challenge, that both players will want to bring their rooks to the c file, and he wants the bishop to be a target on c3. And as soon as I said that, he didn't go for the knight f6 d5, but captured right away on d4. So knight c5, tickling the bishop on d3.
And we're seeing an endgame in the game between Duda and Nakamura. Nothing special for us to turn to, but just noting it's just an endgame, probably not the wildest one we're going to get a chance to look at today.
Well, Veselin is going to be very, very pleased with the outcome of the opening. He's already gotten the two bishops, and no doubts after a move like bishop c6, bishop b5, White will be very, very happy to make a repetition. Instead, a capture on f3. This game, sorry guys, got to call it, as boring as can be. Bishops of opposite color. Take us to an exciting game.
Take us to the Sam Shankland game. That one is exploding. That one's wild.
Right.
And that is, of course, a tight match when it comes to the blitz.
He just played d5, did Sam.
Right.
If you back up a couple of moves, you get it on your board, so you can see the position. And he's decided not even to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right here, played d5, monster move. And after, of course, bishop takes, he would rip that bishop off the board. But pawn takes was played instead. And if we can catch up with the game, knight d4, and the king moved. And now look at, you can see Rapport. It's like complete control as he's trapped the bishop on e4. Sam's up a piece.
Yeah, nice. But he's got a couple of pawns for it, does Richard, but it's not sufficient compensation.
I don't believe that at
the
all.
Players are playing very quickly, Jen. What's the time?
Yeah, just 2 minutes plus for both of them, yeah. We're
Oh,
just
that's
getting
Sam's up
started.
material and
Plenty of
and
time.
position and clock is good.
No,
this is almost
Sam.
resignable.
Exactly.
Look at the d6 pawn about to drop.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is resigns. This is terrible.
Yeah.
What is this
Well, there
about?
it goes.
Is this a trick?
No,
looks
it's
free.
not a good one. Rook takes d5. That's...
And the a7 pawn can drop now. Am I blind to that? No reason to give him anything at all. Sam just own it. Oh, g4 looks like it could rip your heart out.
Scrumptious.
Hey,
And I'm
if
sure
Sam
he
wins
played
this
bishop
game.
e5 to play the move. What is
I would have played g4 so fast.
G4 would have
I
been
would've played
on
G4
my
so
agenda.
fast.
Sorry,
But-
Jen, you were about to say.
That if Sam wins this game,
Oh,
he'll
but
be
look.
+1 in the blitz.
But he got another pawn.
Yeah.
He got another pawn. Just drop the knight back to b5. Oh, he put it on c6.
Bishop c5. It's all good, but just play g4. Get that bishop on g2 in the game, and you'll be a piece up.
And he's
done it.
There it is. That's
Yeah.
how you do it. Now
U.S.
your
champion
position
is
falls
on
apart.
cruise control as everything is going brilliantly for our U.S. champion.
And
Knight
what to do.
E5. Look at the beautiful centralization of White's
gorgeous.
pieces. Yeah.
Takes, and now the knight goes to B4. Just put the rook to D6. Don't worry about anything.
F5 is dropping.
What's this about? He's trying to go knight
Nothing,
E3 with some
nothing.
kind of guesswork?
No.
You might take
and
everything.
Sam
if he
just
does
kind of
that.
did that capture on F5 with a little bit of a flourish to
I mean,
say,
he can
what are
just
you
keep
doing?
taking everything. Yeah, why not? Yeah, you got that.
Just take
Big deal.
that. Take on H7 with a check. Take on E4. Oh, take on H7 with a check. You can't recapture because E4 and A8. So you'll have to move the king.
Or maybe
and
if
you're
you take
set
on
up.
E4 first. No, take on
Oh,
E4 so that you could take on H7 with check. And there's some mating constructions we're looking at over there.
Rook
G6 check looks attractive.
Hold on, but that
Materially,
that
he also...
F1, that F. Oh,
No, the
Sam
knight is
reaching
not
for the
hanging, but
queen.
he's queening.
He's queen.
Ooh, nasty. You got to take with the rook. And there goes your knight. But he's
Rook
looking
check.
for mates.
Rook check. Oh, he's just taking the knight. Okay.
Oh, why did you let him
I was about
get
to
away with
say,
that easily?
Okay, this is completely
Oh, yeah,
winning,
this
of course.
This is over. There's no point to this one. You can take whatever you like. Give us the B pawn. You got nothing left. You got bishop and knight and 2 pawns.
Right.
This is all prayer. This is over. Let's find a competitive
Okay.
game. And Sam is coming back with a vengeance.
Nicely done, Sam. And Wesley So, David Navara. David been on a bit of a roll, Jennifer. Yeah. Look at this move, F5. F5. Okay, so there's some mean intentions
That's a good moment
there.
to come into it.
No question about it. Okay, and he captured with the E.
Yeah, he needed to keep that G pawn plugged. Yeah.
Absolutely, those rooks are doubled on the G file. No, G takes F5. But now, what was Wesley's move? And he's sorry, we were waiting. And he has played
Queen H6, threatening Queen F8.
That's a big time looking attack.
And some issues with
G6, sure.
With G6.
Rook takes G6 on the menu.
Right.
And then if you take back with the pawn, knight takes D6 and Queen F8 would be mate.
Ooh, you're saying all these complicated variations, and he only has 17, 16 ticking down, nervous as ever?
Well, I'd be
Is
nervous
David
in this
Navara.
position,
He's a
I'm
move.
sure.
He's looking at Queen F8 check and he says, how am I going to deal with that?
6 seconds.
Knight
And
G8 played.
Knight G8, and Sam Shankland has won, guys. Not a surprise. He was.
But
just
he's coming
really-
back like a boss in his
Hold
game.
What
on.
about Queen
What
F8?
Queen F8? Queen F8 asking a very salient
There it
question.
is.
What's the
What are
threat?
you doing? Knight
F6
F7.
played.
Knight
Wait,
F7.
F6.
Knight
F6 played,
F7.
allowing Knight F7.
No, but you can't move the knight. It's pinned.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
But
So
there's-
Rook
there's just Rook
G6.
takes
Rook
G6.
G6. Rook G6.
Rook
Rook G6,
H6,
H6,
Rook
G6.
G6.
And there's going to be a
And then
rook
if you
takes
play Queen
knight.
And he's
H7,
done
now
it.
there's Knight
There it
F7.
is.
He's done it.
So now Queen H7, now you have Knight F7 again. It's no longer pinned.
Exactly. That.
And there's no other way
F2
to
check.
protect.
And just King H3, just sidestepping.
Now he's busted.
Okay.
Rook F3. Okay.
No,
Knight
it's-
takes.
And now Queen
Queen
H7.
H7.
He was just trying to get some moves in there, but even Rook F6 looks good here.
Wow. Well, kudos to David. I thought that was going to have to be a resignation. He just found a way to
keep-
stay
to
alive.
keep the game going for a
Yeah,
second.
but Rook F6.
Yeah, Rook F6 looks
looks
easy.
looks really, unfortunately, too strong.
That's what
Too
happened.
powerful.
And now
And
Knight D5.
And we can keep eating with Rook takes F5,
There
which
you go.
Wesley has
Wesley
done.
liked your idea.
You-
Knight
But-
E3 played.
Take the pawns. And Rook G5 piling up against the pin knight. Okay,
Rook's just too
and
big.
once again, I think we saw a flag. We just
Okay,
double
yes,
checked.
yes. He played a queen move and then just seemed to hit the clock and resign. But let's go back to Fabi. Harikrishna, can Fabi make it 6 in a row?
I don't know. I think you should go to Nakamura Duda.
Okay.
Duda is winning.
Duda
No.
is
Oh,
winning.
but Duda has blown some of his advantage, but he does have some
Look at
play
those pawns.
in the position. Only 5 seconds as he's trying to push his pawns down the board. Now just trying to win a piece.
No, Nakamura won the piece.
I mean, win the piece back. Sorry, but he didn't win the piece back.
Uh-oh.
He could have won that piece, but he's decided to keep the extra material. But can he ever win the piece back?
And now he's only got 6 seconds.
Now he's only going to make a draw, it looks like.
Or lose. Look at that, 2 seconds.
Exactly. Or lose.
No way to
2-1.
make. Oh my gosh,
Oh, no.
he's in trouble now. Big time trouble. Now his G6 pawn is
3,
actually
2, 1.
hanging. Ooh, with
Got down
1
to
second
1
on the
With
clock.
1 second.
Okay,
What
now it's a
is he
rook and
doing?
bishop ending, and the
Uh-oh.
pawns are dropping like crazy. He
Right.
needs to put that pawn on B3 and defend it. You defend it quickly,
Yes.
and the king cannot attack it, so
And king C2
no
is
worry
good.
there.
Okay,
Check.
king
He needs to
D2.
build up
King
some
C1,
time,
no problem.
guys.
Whoa, he can't
Because
push.
he's playing on the increment, and he's having trouble with that.
And I called a match between Hikaru and Magnus where
He's got
it
a
was
move.
rook and bishop versus rook, but Hikaru won with the rook. He won on time.
All right, I
Because
don't know
there
why he
was
didn't
no-
keep
Wait,
checking
who was
there.
that against?
Magnus
Is that
Carlsen
a
in
960?
Oslo in 960.
960, but it all
Built
Yang
up
games
some
are the
time.
same.
You're right.
He doesn't want to
Okay.
check for some reason. Oh, getting behind the piece.
Well, just to make the
And
pin.
now he gets to play, but he can't push.
Oh, don't.
He can't push.
3,
push.
2.
Gotta move. Oh no, but rook G3. Rook H3, I mean.
Oh.
King C5.
Check, and he's gonna lose the pawn.
He's going to lose the pawn.
He's gonna lose
And
the
we've
pawn for
got it.
starters.
And we got a
now
rook.
he's got to defend this endgame.
Okay, the
It's still a
famous-
draw.
Famous rook and bishop versus rook ending.
Oh, he can't play rook takes because of rook B2, so he's just played.
But bishop
What was the
takes
point of this
B3.
move? And now a
was
few checks
also-
are going to chase your king around.
Okay,
And another
it's just-
check, and another check you got to watch, but you can do
Bishop
it.
D3.
Check and king, but then king to B2,
Okay.
and you're back in this second rank. Okay, he just has
Nah.
to not screw this up.
Either-
Just don't screw up.
Check.
He's looking bad now. He's looking
King
not so
C3.
nice.
Oh no!
He's getting into. He's still okay for now, but this is the kind of endgame you
Now
lose
you go
easily.
rook H1, rook B1.
Oh, he's blown it.
It's
He's blown it, and
and
he's
he's
lost
lost.
again.
Oh my goodness!
After winning
Oh my
his
goodness!
first game of the mini match.
Okay, Hikaru Nakamura. Boy, did Hikaru turn that game around.
Hikaru's evil,
Look,
man.
it looked like
He's a
Duda
beast.
was.
Duda could have drawn
Going-
that easily.
Yeah, of
He could have
course,
queened the
of
pawn, get
course.
the bishop back, get the draw. He said, "No, I want to try to win."
And look what
punished
happened.
for
Oh
his
my.
greed.
Nakamura was actually laughing at one point
What?
towards the end of this game.
Seriously?
Well, he's in his wheelhouse, yes. Nakamura is having fun out here. And here are the
And
results.
we have a draw for Hari.
Oh, yes!
Oh!
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, not an ownership. 23.5 points is Fabiano as he's 1 point from match victory, Jennifer.
Oh, well, gosh, good call, Yaz. If Fabi wins this game, he will win the showdown against Harikrishna with a whole day and some despair.
Right.
So that's a big one. And Dominguez, Veselin Topalov, that match, a little bit closer than the others, Yaz.
Absolutely. Hikaru is making some distance now with a 4.5, 1.5 blitz score over Duda. Leinier in the blitz, 2.5 versus 3.5. Veselin Topalov playing consistently good chess. But Sam Shankland, gaining some respect after a terrible outing in the Rapids. Jennifer, Maurice, over to you. You have a moment for Duda and the Sun here.
Well, it's what happens. And the quick blitz players, the players whose brains just seem to work on overdrive when it comes to blitz, they spot tactics like that. And in this position, Duda had such a great game, and now this pawn is White's main source of counterplay. You see this pawn, he said, that guy's got to die. So knight d7, just fork the rook and the pawn.
Simple.
If you try to defend it, I'm just going to attack it. Just give the pawn over. That pawn's gone, and then you're going to be trying to force a draw. And if you decided after knight d7, let's play this move, rook b7, and I'm going to get your pawn and maybe get the g6 pawn as well. Maybe he was worried about that. No, you got to see these things in the blink of an eye. Rook takes e4, queen takes, king takes, and knight takes on c5, check, and you're done. These are the little tactics you have to see in blitz, and you have to see them quickly. Guys like Nakamura see this just for breakfast. And here
this was
this
that
moment when he had
coming up.
Yes, and here he is, knight check. And
No.
here he could play that move, knight to d7.
Knight
he did
D7
not find
is
it. Instead,
the
he put the
winning
knight on
move.
c4. And instead of dealing with that pawn, there you saw activity, and you see him now suffering in this position as the pawn stayed alive. You see that critical move, rook to c7, and now the pawn going down the board. And this, once you let this pawn become a source of counterplay, this is when he panicked against it, and Nakamura made this pawn useful, and that's why we saw the rest of the game proceed the way it did.
Wow, really those tactics, and I hear you loud and clear, those blink of an eye. And I remember playing a lot of Blitz games with Garry Kasparov and having the feeling that he had like 1,000 eyes. I mean, he was just seeing those tactics so easily. And there we saw a young Duda being outplayed by the wily veteran. But I think Duda's just going to get better and better, Jen.
So, Fabi, Harikrishna, just to put a positive spin on it, if he wins 18 games in a row, if he wins every single game,
he
can
could
still
win the match.
That's right.
There
So
we go.
He's not out of it yet.
He's not theoretically. Theoretically, you have to do something the likes of which is we've never seen. And okay, that's not going to happen. But I would really like to see Hari get a victory. But what game, guys? Which game would we like to go? Can we go back to Duda Hikaru?
Yeah, sure. Duda has the white pieces. I
because
feel like
that match somehow is still drawing our.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys are looking at it. Duda keeps losing.
Well,
yeah, because
no,
the games are so competitive.
I mean, we came back to the position late in the game. We should
the
watch.
best chess.
We have other best chess. The guy's not playing at the top of his game right now.
Well,
I think you got to start varying. I'm willing to look for now, but I don't think we're seeing the best chess out of this one. Nakamura is just pasting him.
Well, no, I'm not saying the best chess ever. I mean the best chess of the Showdown because Nakamura is just so good at Blitz.
Oh, you mean you want to see him keep beating the guy up? What is that about?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I want to see the comeback of Shankland. By the way, I think that would be fun. And
this is also
and Wesley, and we should give Wesley and Navara some play.
Yeah,
also,
sure.
Absolutely.
There are going to be some fans of both that we should look at.
I
No
noticed that
question
when
about
Duda
it.
plays with the white pieces, it seems that the opening stage tends to be a little bit more interesting as far as many of our fans are concerned. 'Cause
Exactly.
a lot of the ones where Naka's white, the queens get traded early, right?
Right.
They're going in for that same variation a few times, although we didn't see the beginning last time.
Well, it's like both players are very willing to play chaotic positions, right? Even this exact position that they have is also a very uneven
what
battle
opening did
with
this come from, Yaz?
I'm not quite sure. It looks like another English with c5 takes d4. Yeah.
Because it's got a different character than some of the battles that they've played, for sure.
Exactly, with this wedge from c3 to e5.
Now, who do you like playing in these positions, Yaz?
You know, I've always found it easier to play white, these English variations, because basically as white, I know what I'm doing. I'm playing for mate, going after your king, because your king, black's king, is missing an f7 pawn. So I'm going to put my knight on e3. I'm going to put my bishop on g4 or f3. I'm going to put my rook on b5. And
wait, you're going for the king or you're going for my d-pawn?
D-pawn first, king next. Sack the D-pawn, then we sack the king. And there he is going for it. Knight E3.
A pit stop on the way to the main attraction.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Go get your Starbucks.
Right. And the
your
point
Frappuccino.
Right. Now the point is, I'm going to have to face the music of your queenside majority one day. But that day is 20 moves from now. In the meanwhile, I'm going to have a lot of fun over here as white. Maybe playing for f4, f5. Again, maybe playing for bishop g4, bishop f3.
Knight e7, rook b1 played on the board.
Knight e7. And this is also one extra move I can kind of try to sneak in. So again, I'm just saying
Queen c7.
It's easier, in my view, to play the white side. And here, by the way, I'd start to think about how could I occupy e5? Knight g4, knight e5. Should I preface it with f4?
Bishop f3, nope, is what he said. He wanted to pressure the pawn right away.
Absolutely.
And then we saw a6, bishop g2.
Exactly. Park the bishop back on g2. Keep that d5 pawn.
Rook b8, your favorite word, overprotecting the b pawn.
Overprotection.
Now you move f4, yeah.
Starts to...
He's maneuvered his bishop to g2 and now played f4.
As he's eyeballing an opportunity to play for knight g4, knight e5.
You gotta like white here, don't you guys?
Yeah,
It
always.
What is Black's plan? He's trying to play b5 and b4?
Precisely.
There we have it.
Yeah. Has he played b5?
He has played b5,
Okay.
yeah.
So again, I know I'm going to have to face your majority on the queen side one day. But before that day comes, usually I get to have a lot of fun on the king side.
f5, bishop f7 on the board.
f5, bishop f7. Oh my.
And he wants to get knight g4 in, but at the moment, rook takes f5, right?
So do I play queen c2 as
prefacing it?
prefacing knight
Well, he's
g4?
taking on b5 first.
Okay, fair enough. Getting rid of an isolated pawn over there.
And-
AB, AB? Yes.
Yeah, that's right, AB. And now, don't forget that perhaps the rook could land on a1 at some point, queen c2, and then an immediate h5 played by Nakamura.
Yeah,
He
Hikaru.
doesn't want to see that knight landing on d4.
No. That would have been a really an awkward move to face.
But now what about bishop f3? Are you just playing...
Well,
H4?
H5 is protected. The bishop on f7 does, protect the pawn. I'm thinking...
King h1 played, by the way, instead.
Okay, king h1.
And then queen d7 played.
Okay, players are really moving quickly.
Yeah, especially Nakamura. Nakamura with a 30-second time edge can be very significant in Blitz. Rook f2 played.
Rook f2.
What's up with that move, Yaz?
I'm not sure.
Nakamura looks confused as well as he was
Yeah,
blitzing out his moves. He spent quite some time before finally playing rook 8. The thing about Nakamura is he's an 85, 90%, or even 80, 85% player, or 80 to 90, if you will.
His consistent moves. Yeah.
He says, you know what, I'm not going to find the best move in the position.
No.
I'm going to find a good enough move. And if it's not a blunder, then I'm going to just play it. And that's how he saves time on the clock. It's when he's, the last two moves have been extra long thinks. And this is when he gets into some kind of trouble. But you'll see him start flashing those moves very quickly. As he knew he had a big decision to make here, he decided to play this move b4. And that's got his opponent digging into the time situation, thinking, because something's going to land on a4.
Well, I think it's time to go g3, g4 for Duda. Oh, he's
Tactics. And Nakamura.
A8 is hanging.
Look
guys.
at Nakamura as though he didn't do anything at all. He found this move b3. If you take it, then he takes on c4
That's
with
right.
tempo, a wily move.
But you just drop
you could
the
drop
queen,
your queen back to b1.
Queen back to b1. And
But
this
rook
has,
a2 is coming.
This has
Queen
shades.
b1 takes on c4, bishop takes a8 played.
Look
so
at
Naka sacked the
Nakamura
exchange.
sacking an exchange for this pawn on b3. Did he do this on purpose?
No, he missed
no.
knight c4. He surely missed knight c4.
Knight d5 played.
Knight d5.
But you
Okay,
guys,
that
He's
bishop.
making it look like a true sacrifice, though.
That's Nakamura for
the
you,
bishop
though.
g5.
Making lemonade out of lemons.
There you go.
Queen e4, bishop f8 played.
I was
Be
about to
careful
say,
about bishop g5 as knight c3.
instead of queen e4, I thought bishop g5 was a winner, guys.
But he has bishop g5 again after bishop f8, no?
Bishop, queen,
Now,
bishop.
no, he didn't play that. He played king g1.
Okay, he's
king off the
anticipating.
diagonal, but he
he's
wants to play this
anticipating
move.
that the bishop is going to be harassed, and he may have to play bishop takes d5. So he didn't want to see his king on the
Rook
h1
a6
side.
played, bishop takes d5.
And
bishop
he's
takes
done it?
d5.
Okay,
Me too.
so Richard has, pardon me, Duda has an exchange and a pawn. Am I counting that right?
Yes.
Exchange and a pawn, and he's threatening f7, f6.
No, but those bishops are blockading very well.
Well, that was why bishop f7 was important.
And he did
Otherwise,
play
the pawn
f6.
would have been on f7 as we speak.
Okay, is that b pawn going anywhere? It looks like the answer is no. But how does
Queen-
white make progress? His rooks have to leave the f file.
Queen a8. No, queen f3.
Play queen f3 is 12 seconds as he's
I'm still
closing in on the increment here.
His
I'm
rooks have to
looking-
leave the f file. I mean, bishop c1
Yeah.
looks necessary here, but how do he has to put his rooks on another file? Maybe
Well,
the e file,
a file.
or the a file.
Yeah. Well, the e file. Ooh, I've got a breaking alert that
Well,
Fabi.
I don't know it's 5 seconds left on Duda's clock. 4, 3. Fabi's going to win his game in the match.
sure does
I think it
look
was a
that way.
foregone conclusion that he was going to win that match, and I don't. If we were very surprised by that, then
Not too much.
There goes
But
the rook shifting. This is what I was talking about.
very important.
Now,
Yeah.
where do the rooks belong? E8, maybe?
But
Queen
by the
D5.
way-
First, an offer of a trade. And
Whoa.
Still 4 seconds.
Rook takes
Whoa,
A2.
he's allowed an A pawn.
No, Hikaru recaptured with a pawn.
the
How
queen, you
weird
mean?
was? Yeah, pardon me, with the queen. How weird was that?
This is weird. I'm not. This
Okay,
is weird.
the players
16
are
seconds.
really down
This is, by the way,
clock.
Naka's wheelhouse.
This is amazing.
H3, as if somehow Naka is just staying here and keeping the edge on the clock. Now the king has gone to H2.
The rook can finally.
But how does it penetrate? It has no squares in black's position.
Okay, but can we play rook to
Oh,
B?
nasty. H4.
I was about to say rook to B5 and bishop F4.
Oh, no. Look at this. Nakamura now trying to get his pawn one step further.
He's done it.
Done it.
And queen.
What
He
is
wins
this?
a rook for the pawn.
Suddenly Nakamura
For
up
winning.
a piece.
Winning.
And he knows he's got him.
Bishop D5.
Nakamura is just going to play, well, first guarding that pawn.
Okay.
Queen F3, stopping Bishop D5.
The queen.
But this is
F5.
over. He knows it's over. Bishop is going to come into the game sooner or later, and it's going to come with effect. Check. Get back to the back row. How does he get the dark square bishop to work, though? That's what Nakamura is trying to figure out. And waiting for a blunder, by the way.
And waiting for a blunder.
You know, sooner or later, the guy's going to make a mistake in this position.
Exactly.
3 seconds. Your time is horrific. Here comes that bishop. Where do you put the queen? Offering a queen trade when you lose the G-pawn.
Whoa, that was making it rather easy.
Okay, now he's going to look for some kind of
Easier.
counterplay. Ooh, Nakamura allowed king D4.
Oh,
no,
no.
he's going to be able to play bishop. He's going to be able to play bishop F1, but
Bishop F1 to protect the pawn. And then he wants to go king G8, king F7. Crucial to get
This
that
bishop-
blockading. Yeah, okay.
How do
It
you
is
get this
winning.
bishop
It is winning. It is
out
winning.
of the way. He's going to
Because
be in
it's
Zugzwang
just
in a second.
Zugzwang, right? A second.
He's got to back
right
up,
now.
and then here comes that bishop
Yeah.
Nakamura boss technique.
Once again.
Who does he kill here? Does he take the D-pawn? Of course.
Yes.
And he's going to be Zugzwang again in a second.
Right.
And he's got his king up. Oh, he stopped
No.
him from getting that. But the bishop's going to go in the back door. And when it hits
And king
E1,
E6.
you're going to resign.
King E6.
And that also
followed by bishop
finished.
E5.
Finished, yes.
Yeah.
Another
Wow.
masterpiece.
We got
of
one game
technique.
still going on as
Which is that?
Nakamura had turned it around there. Good.
Again?
Richard Rapport versus Sam Shankland still underway. Sam looks totally
Won
winning.
again?
In fact, he won.
Sam Shankland.
Well, Yaz calls him Sam I Am, U.S. champion.
Wow.
And champion.
The champion.
Yeah,
Nicely
It was-
done,
This is what I had to
Sam.
do. I had to pick his opponent
Right.
to win the blitz for Sam to say, wait, you picked me to win the whole match.
Lose the battle, win the
Got
war.
a little upset and said, boom, and now he's
Wow.
hitting hard.
He's getting some respect. Getting
And
some respect.
Somebody
And
else
what
who
has
got hit
happened?
was Wesley So.
And David.
As
And by the way, Sam's board is crazy, apparently. The end of this game.
This
Let's
is the
take a look.
video replay.
Whoa!
Ah!
You can't do that.
flying pawn, but
Flying
kudos to
pawn.
Rapport, who instantly resigned, realizing
Right.
that he was lost in the position.
He was dead.
He was lost on the clock, and he also
Knocked over the
knocked
pawn.
over a piece.
And so he just said, look, you win.
You beat me 3
And
different
here
ways,
we-
Yaz.
I know.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. 4 decisive games in this, the 7th round, Jennifer.
As we've got Nakamura victorious, Fabiano Caruana also won, David Navara and Sam Shankland both on the comeback trail as the match between Dominguez and Topalov retains Topalov in the lead, but getting a little closer today. Oh, not really, just a little closer in the last few rounds. But we have a tournament winner already as a
Yes,
match winner,
indeed.
as Fabiano Caruana has now clinched the match against Harikrishna. He's got $36,000 in the bag and boatloads of rating points in both the Blitz and the Rapid. And now, of course, they're going to continue to play their games, but no chance for Harikrishna to win or tie this match.
And $36,000 richer is Fabiano Caruana.
I can't believe
Kudos.
what Nakamura is doing to Duda.
The silver medalist?
The
wow.
games seem like this close, this close,
Really,
this
really close, yeah.
Hey, Duda wasn't even winning that game.
Right.
He was up in exchange. He just had to do the right things with his rooks. All of a sudden, he traded off these rooks, and suddenly the pawn on beat 3 turned into a monster, and then it turned into a queen, literally.
And
I mean, the way he handles, it's like who's better in the last 20 seconds? That's what I've noticed. Who's better in the last 20 seconds? Nakamura in the last 20 seconds with a 2-second increment.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Give me even 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds with a 2-second increment. Nakamura makes it look like 2 hours.
I know.
Incredible. Just instant. And he's like this. Yeah, this is easy. I've done this all the time. And like I said, he could probably do commentary while he's doing that as well.
Well, it kind of begs the question, is Nakamura even better at match play blitz as he is in, for instance, a round-robin type blitz or a Swiss blitz? And I would say yes, because he has so much experience in those, all-night blitz matches on chess.com,
Exactly.
chess. And so maybe that's part of the reason that this is so lopsided.
His training has been phenomenal.
And his understanding of psychology and momentum and all of those factors.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt that he's played guys like
Magnus all day, all night.
All those matches they've played. Those, he's saying to himself, look, Duda, I know you're a young buck coming up, but, I played the best. I played Magnus Carlsen. Who are you?
Right.
It's like if somebody said, I played one-on-one against LeBron, you're not going to do anything more dangerous than that guy.
Right.
That's what he's showing now. He's so calm. It's like he's not ruffled at all, and it's almost as though he knew he would dominate Duda.
Right. We've got a few extra minutes, Jen, but I think we have a special to share with our audience.
That's right. The players were asked about what they feel about St. Louis being a mecca of chess in the world, not only the capital of the United States, but, as Garry Kasparov said, a center of gravity in the chess world.
What do you think the city of St. Louis means to the international chess stage?
With each year, it becomes more and more prominent. The Grand Chess Tour is expanding. There's so many more international events bringing players from all over the world, top players. St. Louis has become, for sure, the capital of chess in the world.
Maybe not the world capital of chess, but one of the capitals, I guess. I mean, together with probably Moscow and some other place.
It's very strong. How to say, chess city. So I'm happy I'm here.
When you hear St. Louis, you kind of, at least I think about chess. It's really great what St. Louis has become for chess.
I see a lot of chess activity, a lot of events, a lot of kids playing here, so it's wonderful here.
There are many really interesting events. Grand Chess Tour is quite a nice idea. I was following the Cairns Cup, among other tournaments, but also many others.
U.S. Championship, U.S. Women's Championship, but mainly the Sinkfield Cup these days, where all the top players are competing. Beyond that, there are also a lot of European players who try to play the Norm tournaments as well. And just in general, it's a great atmosphere, and it's great to see all the things that have happened here in St. Louis over the last 10 years, I guess, 10 or 11 years.
Rex and Gene Sinkfield have really done a lot to support chess here. It's the source of and the support of where great American chess players come. It's the only reason why American chess is booming right now.
Any tournament you play in Europe, wherever it is, people have heard about the Chess Club and Scholastic Center in St. Louis.
This is my very first time in St. Louis, but of course I was watching many of the tournaments and events taking place here. Just when I got this tour, of looking around the place a little bit, I was very familiar with the playing hall. I believe that people are getting to know St. Louis and getting to respect the efforts that the chess club puts in.
St. Louis has absolutely set an example for what chess should be all over the world. You guys have both hosted the best tournaments in the world, as well as put chess, as far as I know, into every single school in the St. Louis area. And this is a dream come true for a chess player of any level, be it a professional or someone who just enjoys the game. And I think the rest of the world would do a great job to follow St. Louis's example.
When you visit St. Louis, you'll probably want to watch the Cardinals or the Blues. What about after the game? Heading back to the hotel would be a major error. Instead, boogie through the city and discover the music that gave the blues their name at the National Blues Museum, Broadway Oyster Bar, or even the legendary Blueberry Hill. So whether you love the Cardinals, the blues, or the blues, come play with us. Hey, you guys know I can't play this, right? St. Lou is always exploring.
Be surprised. Be intrigued. Be delighted. The World Chess Hall of Fame in St. Louis is nothing you'd expect and everything you love. 3 galleries highlight the history, culture, and creativity behind the game. Explore chess in ways you never imagined. It's a one-of-a-kind cultural institution where rare artifacts and world-class art play together. The World Chess Hall of Fame. Mind, art, experience.
Champions Showdown, the Kings here at the St. Louis Chess Club in the capital of chess in the United States. As we have 10 fantastic chess players from all over the world playing here, including 5 playing under the United States flag.
And
Yes.
it's been a real treat, Jennifer,
Yes.
watching these kings of the chessboard, dueling it out. Lots and lots of stories, lots of games to watch. We're going to turn our spotlight to the game of Wesley So and David Navara, as those 2 players have really been taking the measure of one another as well.
That's right. Today, actually, Navara is ahead by a couple of points as he's been scoring
Something
well
that
today.
we did not expect. I mean, Wesley So has a very, very deserved reputation. As we know from the Grand Chess Tour, what a great rapid specialist he is, and pretty darn good blitz player. But David Navara has been doing very well thus far.
4 victories so far in the match for Navara, 2 for Wesley So, as we're in round 8. So I don't know about you, Yaz, but I'm thinking there's going to be another decisive game here.
And look at him go. I mean, the players are playing all of these moves, and I do know it's theory, but it's remarkable that they've been playing them just a la tempo with one another. F7, F5, very important move by Black to get that move in quickly before that E4 pawn becomes a real target. And C5 by Wesley. Now that's a very intriguing move for me, as he's made a big commitment in giving up the D5 square, but he's seeking to play bishop C4.
Who do you like, Yaz? Do you like the bishop here?
I do,
So
but
you
I just
take
don't know.
Wesley.
Yeah, I think he has an edge, but I just don't know
If he's going to be able to make
how
use of
he's-
it.
Exactly. I mean,
A knife, but you don't know if it's going to cut the cheese.
something like that.
Also, it's hard to get the knight to D5. which would
Right,
be the ideal
that's what
piece.
I'm thinking. I
And
mean,
the
David
path
wants
to that square is just not obvious.
Yeah, David wants to play E5, and then he wants to go like knight F8, knight E6, and bring the. But it's not that easy. In fact, it's rather awkward. But I think E5 and King E7 have got to be the way to get the show started. Okay, this move, by the way, does threaten knight takes C5, so it does kind of gain a half tempo and force King C3, a move that White is absolutely going to play 90% of the time, regardless of whether you played Rook D8 or not. Now
Are
we
you
see
surprised
E5.
he didn't castle queenside in that position?
No, because somehow I like the king on E7.
Yeah, maybe there's a pawn storm that would happen as well.
Yeah, and
He's
here,
doing now.
well, this is some high preparation by Wesley, because he could have saved this, not for a blitz match, but for a real classical opponent. He's doing something really remarkable with this whole strategy. Now, if I'm David, I'm capturing on E5, and
On
I'm playing,
D4.
yeah, on D4, pardon me, and I'm playing knight F8, because I'm desperate to get my knight to a good square, and E6 will attack the D4 pawn.
That's a big deal.
And that's a big deal.
I
Okay.
really would have liked to be able to attack that H pawn on H4 as well. But
You
we're
never
gonna
had
have
the time.
Yeah, we got to wait for that to happen.
You never had the time.
The knight, however, can
Now,
go to
I'm
squares
thinking-
like F4 now.
Yeah, I'm
after
thinking-
E6 and then get that D5 nut.
I'm thinking F2, F3. White has got to break up the team over there that Black has. So
Agreed.
I'm thinking F3.
But if what do you do after knight E6?
I take on E4.
And he decided
Okay,
instead
he
to deal with
decided-
the center. This breakthrough has given him a majority on the queen side, and
So-
bishop takes. With that bishop, this could be challenging.
After b6, or yeah, b7, b6, you can take and go c6, but then I'll play b5, so you don't get a protected pass pawn. I think b6 has got to be
No,
the
rook
move.
d7. This is my
Ooh,
thought
but,
was.
but
just-
then you take on e6 and take on d7, and white will get the d file.
no, but you have to worry about your h4 pawn all the time, though. No.
You're absolutely right.
Although he
You
is
do.
going down this path.
And
and
he
he
could
could-
take on d1 or
He could have taken on d1 and then forced the defense.
I think.
Oh, he's got rook d6 check.
Correct.
He's got a rook
so
d6
the
check problem.
Rook d1.
So
and
now
king has to go maybe to e7, so that after rook d6, rook h4, rook g6, king f7.
rook d6
I think
back.
king. I think
rook
king
F4.
e7.
Oh, this is
king
this
e7
is
looks
sharp,
box.
but I think that he'll survive this.
I'm
Although that pawn on,
sure.
he's got to win the f pawn so that his e pawn wakes up.
And Jennifer, what's the time? Because I see
Time
a
is
very
fine.
nervous David Navara.
David's
Well,
just
a little over
normally
a minute
nervous.
for David.
Okay.
He's
Can he
calculating
also
this all
play
the way
king
down.
e6, king e5? Or is that asking for trouble? Trying to put your
I like that too.
faith behind your own passive.
No, the thing is though that you give him
He's played king
ooh,
c7.
the most passive of all of them.
Of all the choices he
Takes,
could have
takes,
made.
and now the g pawn will be passed,
But rook f4.
and he will
okay.
get his f pawn passed, and actually you get two connected passers.
Well,
That's why he analyzed this.
ooh, not rook takes g7, but b5.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
The king is forced to go to the back rank where that g pawn will
And
become a force.
White's king is going to go king d4, king e5 to keep the black passers, well, not in check, but
It's not going to be easy though.
blockaded.
And he's trying to pick up which square
Well,
is better. Why not king
here,
c8?
king
immediately?
c8, I wouldn't be arguing with myself over king b8 or king c8. I just play it
Just
very
play
quickly.
king c8, yeah?
Yeah.
It's hard to figure out why one would be better than the other. And here goes the
Okay,
problem.
g6, g7 is the big problem, right? That's,
I play
oh,
What?
giving up the f pawn.
What? King d3 looks easy. Way to stop that nonsense. What's going on? Why do you
Rook
play like this?
e5. Rook e5 is a good start. What do you think, Jen? Can White win this? He's got the extra pawns.
I think he's going to win this, yeah.
Yeah, I do
He's also
too.
got an extra minute and 20 seconds left.
Wesley looks very, very confident here. Guys, I'm going to call this, and I'm going to say Wesley is going to win.
Let's go to Shankland Rapport. That seems to
Okay.
be the richest. Well, Dominguez is also very interesting.
Okay, what would you like? Dominguez? Let's do it. Dominguez it is. I've got Dominguez up on my board, and Leinier is white. Topalov, Veselin is just hit back with the move c7, c5, striking against the knight on d4. E6.
That's a breakaway.
Whoa,
Now,
that's
can
a
he play
blunder.
Can he play e7? Are you sure?
No, take the knight.
Just take the knight.
Oh,
and then
no,
take-
no.
that's
There
what
was
I'm-
a take on c5.
Yeah, take. This looks like it's got to be good for white. Some
Just a
light square
second.
attacking opportunities.
I gotta
Oh no, he just took
refresh
back on
my
d4.
board.
Oh no, now he can't get it on h7. I can't say I like the way he transformed this one. Now it's
Ooh.
back in business for black. Black is fine. Two connected pass pawns blockading the d pawn. This is okay for black. There's no mate ever.
Uh-oh, Leinier missed an opportunity there. Was it a golden opportunity, Jen?
20 seconds for each player, yes, as the game continues.
Queen d6. Was that necessary? Why not queen d4 if you're going to...
By the way, Fabiano is mating Harikrishna in his game, so that one is done.
It's done? Oh, no.
As we've got another
G5.
coming of the two bishops versus the two knights, yes.
Yes.
And Rapport versus Shankland.
All right, let's do that because this game looks like it's going to be a draw, but okay, I'd rather play white and have the pawn. I've got the game of Sam Shankland against Richard, and again, two knights, as you were saying, versus
Although
two
this time
bishops.
we got a past A pawn, yeah. So and the
Okay.
king is well positioned to stop the D pawn. So I'm not sure this one is nearly as bad as the one that we looked at with Naka.
I
We're
got
talking
the
about
Sam
the game between
Shankland.
Shankland and Rapport.
And
As we're watching the knights
Sam
battle of the bishops.
Shankland has just captured the queen side. there is no black queenside anymore.
And technically speaking, this is a draw, but this is too sharp.
I don't know
to talk about that.
With time and those tricky nights, those oh so tricky nights in Blitz.
He had a liquidation opportunity. A bishop takes knight, followed by bishop takes b4, right?
I think he did. Well, there was a knight check, maybe knight e5 check to recapture with the knight on d3. What's this? King takes e6,
and he's taken.
What happened there?
There's a knight c5 check threat he had to worry about there.
Right.
And now this is a draw.
But let's go to Nakamura Duda, because that game's still underway. Duda's got the extra pawn, but can he make anything out of it? Look at that pawn on e3, Yaz.
Oh, that's huge.
Big pawn.
Hikaru will have to use all of his defensive resources to save this one.
And what's going on in that pawn endgame, Yaz?
Well,
he plays rook to c2. Okay, he must have thought it was losing because he did not go for it.
It's darn good for Duda is what it is.
Yeah.
Did I just say what I think I said? Darn good?
Sounds like it.
That's all right,
Darn good for Duda.
You get a pass.
But
You've
how
been
do you win
talking
this?
for 3 weeks.
Okay.
That chess.
How do you win this? This is drawn.
Whoa! Alert! What was that?
Wait a second. He grabbed the queen right there.
He grabbed that queen.
And Nakamura trying to find a way in. Wait, but another check, and he's got to repeat, and he doesn't see a way.
He play g3 or g3.
He just took, and now he got to play rook h.
Rook h7 was his
But he's going to be a draw because rook g4 and rook g1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Draw.
And there it is.
Nakamura, even when dead looking.
Giving us some thrills at the very end. And Duda has the feeling that he missed the breakthrough. Was he right,
What
Maurice?
happened right there?
G4 was a draw.
G4, but it was a great shot. Yeah.
It would work against many a lesser player.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a stunning move. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Duda was winning that game earlier, by the way.
As the game between Topalov and Dominguez that we left was indeed a draw.
As expected, but you said that Duda was winning at a certain moment?
I'm going to give you a position, and you tell me.
Okay.
Take a look. This is move 39 after rook f1.
Okay.
Black has 3 pawns on this side. Pawn well defended. White with no shred of counterplay. He's defending.
Yeah.
And it's just that guy.
Right.
Straight pawn. Time to try to win the game. Of course, you're playing Nakamura. So,
not so
you better
easy.
play some great technique. He played this move, one passive move. Rook a1, rook c5. Oops. Bye-bye pawn. And the rest we saw happen. He was able to win this pawn, but this one was not as strong as this one as the pieces liquidated down, and we saw that end game where he was not able to win.
I'm sorry, Maurice. Is that the whole story there after king h6? You can't take on a5, right? King h6 because if bishop takes e4 at the end. Maybe Duda still. Yep.
Bishop take, but then check.
Ah.
You're still up a pawn. Clean pawn, but it's...
no, that wasn't what I wanted. Party pooper. All right. Well, Jennifer, we are being feeded just... But let's go up to Cristian and Nakamura up in the game room.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Hikaru Nakamura after a dominating performance. Hikaru, congratulations. Up to this point, you seem to be playing very, very good chess. Take us through this section.
Well, first of all, congratulations is a little bit premature. There's still quite a few games left. Nonetheless, yeah, I've played pretty well so far. And even the positions where I've been in trouble, they've been messy and complicated. So, yeah, this last game I was probably slightly worse the whole way. It was never really that bad, I think. Perhaps at the end I made it a little bit more dramatic than I needed to with this whole this rook and pawn end game. But nonetheless, I mean, the goal is really just to try and avoid losing and just, you know, burn the games that are left until you win the match. But obviously, Jan-Krzysztof hasn't been great today. I mean, he's had some good positions, but I think he's just been a little bit too tilty. Sort of when he's lost some of these games, which have been very messy, it just seems to fall apart in the next one. So he needs to be a little bit more solid, perhaps.
Would you say momentum is the biggest factor playing in these matches?
Yeah, I mean, in 3+2 especially, you're going to have a lot of decisive games. So if you get off to a good start and win the first one or first couple, generally it sets a good trend. And I know, like in the Grand Chess Tour when I played here, I think in the Rapid and the Blitz, every single day I lost the first game. So I was able to recover from that, but certainly you don't want to start off with losses because then it just adds more pressure and sort of the negativity builds. So it's very important to get off to a good start and keep the momentum in your favor.
What do you think of the overall format of these matches, and would you like to see any changes?
I mean, perhaps some of the matches could be more competitive, but in general, I think the format is quite good. So 12 rapid games gives you a chance sort of to prepare quite a bit with the white pieces and come up with some ideas, and therefore I think it makes for very interesting chess. I mean, I think sort of the results in the matches haven't been really great per se, but I still think the format itself is really good. And at least in my match, we've played some very interesting openings, and so I'm pretty pleased with the experience that I've gained.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Hikaru, and good luck in the rest of your games, guys.
Well, we'll take this one that has not been such a good format for Harikrishna, at least for us watching. We'd love to be able to watch Fabiano Caruana play all his games, or at least a bunch of games, but his match is so one-sided. He's already won, and we've got a day and a third to go. But this game, it just signifies just how badly he's been beating on his opponent. In this position, with pure confidence after his opponent played a little unorthodox open, this square looks well covered. I mean, you got a knight, 2 pawns. That square you would think nobody's going anywhere near. Except Fabi said, boom, let me play c5 anyway so that I can just put my bishop on b5. Now I got a nice bishop sitting right there, threatening knight takes, f6. Ooh, thanks for all those light squares weaknesses. Let me shift my queen over in that general direction. Well, maybe a move like h5 or a queen appearing. Instead, he tried to develop his knight, and Fabi said, quickly, boom, knight takes on e5, a boss move, queen h5 check, flush your king over this way, bishop takes g5, and now you can't capture back because the rook is hanging. He staggered with this move, only to get met by a basic exchange and then check, and there went his knight, and it no longer was a sacrifice as he was winning back his piece, and this king after f4 just got murdered in its own bed. This has been a whitewash, guys, just complete demolition by the number 2 player on the planet.
Beautiful, beautiful game there. Nice combination by Fabiano. When it rains, it pours, Jennifer.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break, Jazz, but guys, look forward to the last third of the Blitz games on day one.
We got
4 more games to go over, and it's going to be really fun. So join us in a few minutes for Champion Showdown Blitz time.
Welcome to the chess capital of the United States. The St. Louis Chess Campus, in the heart of the vibrant Central West End, has established itself as a premier global destination for chess and is comprised of 2 unique nonprofit institutions. The Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis is recognized as the top chess facility in the world and plays host to all major tournaments, including the U.S. Chess Championships and the Sinkfield Cup, one of the strongest chess tournaments globally. Tournaments are broadcast online to more than 150 countries, led by an expert commentary team of grandmasters. The Chess Club is an educational organization committed to promoting the game of chess, with a specific focus on bringing the benefits of chess to children throughout the St. Louis area. Research shows children who play chess exhibit improved analytical skills and increased confidence. The Chess Club is highly engaged with the local community, bringing scholastic chess programs to more than 100 schools, providing hundreds of classes each week. Directly across the street from the Chess Club is the World Chess Hall of Fame. This one-of-a-kind cultural institution invites visitors to experience chess in imaginative ways and is home to the U.S. and World Chess Halls of Fame. Cutting-edge exhibitions feature rare, historic chess artifacts paired with world-class art. Innovative programming explores the intersection of chess, art, and culture. Visitors can enjoy interactive programs designed around the exhibitions and monthly music in the galleries. The World Chess Hall of Fame is nothing you expect and everything you love. 3 different galleries and a premier gift shop highlight the culture, history, and creativity behind the game. Come visit, play chess, leave enriched. To learn more about the St. Louis Chess Campus, visit stlchesscampus.org.
And here are our standings in the Champions Showdown, the Kings, as we have Nakamura with a 14.20, a total of 20, and Duda with 12. We've got 25 and a half out of Caruana. That's the only player so far who's already clinched his match.
Indeed.
And meanwhile, Wesley and Veselin Topalov both on 19 and a half. Richard Rapport, the closest to clinching victory with 21. He needs to win 3.5 out of 4 of the last 4 games. But this match has been pretty tight in the Blitz, Yaz.
It has. There's been a lot of back and forth. Duda has been in a lot of the games with Hikaru, but Hikaru keeps running up the score as somehow he gets that extra half a point here and there, whether it's in a rook and bishop versus rook ending or, well, in saving those pawn down rook endings. And the players are quickly repeating the same line. Maurice.
Do you realize that this guy is the silver medalist in the World Blitz?
It's amazing.
And Naka's making him look like just a random average run-of-the-mill player?
And he is not. This young man, Jan Duda from Poland, is the real deal. He's going to be really one of the superstars of tomorrow, if not today. 20 years old.
Well,
his
not
whole
today.
career.
Not
Yeah, but not today. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That let me just clarify. Not today. Okay, and here we go. A repeat of their previous outing. And like I say, I like white because his kingside majority, F4, G4, let's have some fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking. Push him, baby.
Push him, baby. I like
G4,
it. I like
let's
it
go.
when Duda's white because one way or the other we get an interesting battle, right? Yeah.
Right out of the gate, you bet. And look at him go. This is what I was talking about in the first time they played this opening. Yeah, one day black has the queen side, but before that time, white gets to have a lot of fun. Push him, F5. The hesitation. When you're playing against Nakamura, it's just amazing. You need all of those extra precious seconds that you can ever have. And wow, well, this game really has exploded with huge majorities now for both players. It's queen b6, check, queen e3. Some ideas there for Nakamura, but this knight c4, I don't know.
And
Bishop
also,
c5 check.
You might have a pawn storm.
I got a pawn storm.
But
yeah.
that king, you got to always take a long look at it because you see how there he was checking to see where he should put his king.
Right.
The pawn storm is on for sure, but there are no pieces necessarily supporting it just yet. So black's not worried about that. Black is going to look for his counterplay before these pawns really hit home.
Well, they're about to hit home, though, Maurice. I was about to say the knight's going to come to f3. Now the knight has the option of jumping to e4. Maybe knight e4, bishop c6, bishop f3.
d4 on the board.
Action. And by the way, that just...
Invites knight e4.
Yeah,
Doesn't
well,
it?
it
bishop
sure
c6,
does.
remember, is going to happen.
Well, knight e4, bishop c6, bishop f3. That looks good for white.
I wanted to
right?
get my bishop on
Are you
f3.
sure? Remember, knight b3 will be a move as well. Plus, your c3 pawn is under fire, and there's a lot of little...
And you know me, I walk through the Gobi Desert barefoot for a pawn. Knight takes c4, bishop c6 check, king g3, if I'm feeling rambunctious. A lot of options here for Duda.
Too many options as his clock is ticking down, and he's put the bishop on...
He's played the conservative move,
F3
bishop f3.
immediately.
Yeah, I like this choice. How about you, Jen? Very solid.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Does a lot of different things at once. Defends, knight e4, and also
Okay,
attacks.
that's a transposition to the line we started with knight e4. That
Maybe
was our
he thought
first
d3
choice.
was an extra branch. I didn't think it worked, but this one gives Nakamura fewer options, perhaps he thought.
Exactly. By the way, bishop g5 is developing with tempo, so it's something to keep in mind. Bishop takes e4, 2 bishops. Oh, huge majority now for black. But there's queen d5 check. That's got to be game over. Queen d5 check forces the trade of queens, and then I'm thinking, wow, how could he not play queen d5 check? Okay.
Yeah, good point. Queen d5 looks imposing. He played bishop f4.
Which is okay. Okay, nothing wrong with developing.
Queen d5 still in the air, though.
Absolutely, as is e6 and bishop e5. But maybe this gives Naka the chance to play knight b3, bishop d4. Bishop d4, yeah. I would have liked queen d5. Bishop d4. Okay, knight b3. Duda, queen f3. Okay, rook d1. He's making room against knight b3 for rook on a1
Yeah,
to d1.
I like that.
That's a good choice. I agree.
You can't play c2. I just have bishop d5 check and grab the bishop.
Yep, exactly. Nice point. Very nice point, Jen. Rook d1 will threaten bishop d5.
Knight now on
And
b3
now-
and queen leaping to a5.
Whoa. What's that? That's c4 pawn alert. Bishop d5 check takes c4. Then you've got c2. I'll take on b3.
By the way, Injin's giving f6 as winning cold.
Wouldn't doubt it. That's
f6, a winning attack.
By the way, what is defending Black's king? I mean, Hikaru's
that's
got
an
a
interesting
lonely
point.
rook.
So suppose f6, c2. You're playing
Well,
what?
I've got bishop on e4, so c2 I've got covered. C2
That's true.
square
Okay,
is
so after
protected.
f6.
And he's played it, by the way.
Cold-blooded. The point is, if you take bishop h7 check, rips apart your king, followed by queen takes b7 check, and the attack crashes through. A bishop will land on h6, and your king has no protection. And what to do? He has taken. And now if he finds the move bishop h7 check, Nakamura will have to move his king away. Does he see it? He did not see it. He did not see the main crushing point. But it's still hovering in the position, these ideas. But why can't bishop takes on f6 now?
I thought he was going to go bishop h6 immediately.
bishop d5
rook
and
takes
bishop
f6.
h6.
Rook
Bishop
takes
d5.
f6. Bishop d5 check is on the board.
He still has bishop h7 check, but he had bishop h7 check because you couldn't take because of queen b7 check.
King g7.
But this line
King g7, what's going on
is
with
also still
What's
winning.
going on with rook d4 and bishop h6 check? We always have to check those lines.
Guys, the queen needs to get in the game. Queen e4 is winning in that position
Bishop takes
as well, but he's
C4.
taken logically on c4. and
Because,
he's
by the way,
threatening
queen
b7
b7
and the knight.
Bingo. Queen takes. How can you resist when you see a tactic like that? Well, Nakamura is going to play rook f8 because he sees queen b7, queen b3. There'll be a bishop
But now what about rook
hanging
d4?
on f4.
No.
So queen b7 check. The king has to drop back.
Queen
Not
b7,
the ideal.
king h8, that's right.
And what about bishop h? No, he's just taken the knight. Simple chess.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
Show me what you got of a
Makes
piece.
sense.
And clock time, something we haven't been able to say at all. This
Rook.
one's totally winning, and now Nakamura is going into trick mode. He's hoping that his opponent will miss some ideas
Then what
and
is
win the
bishop
game.
takes?
Rook
Take on
d4.
f4?
Is he going to take on f4? Does that work? Hard to
No.
believe.
No, there'll be a queen b8 check at the end of the day.
And now queen c3, his last gasp is Nakamura with this
But
move.
bishop e5. Hikaru didn't even want to wait for bishop e5. He just gave it up and said, "Okay,
Well, he
I
doesn't
got
even
it.
have a
I
check
got
there.
it."
He doesn't
Yeah.
even have a check.
Exactly.
Bishop
After
e5.
bishop e5.
Duda
Whoa.
finally winning a game.
But in a
while.
brutal fashion.
Brutal crush.
Let's jump to the Sam Shankland game, Jennifer.
game.
What's happening? What's happening? Well, it's over is what's happening.
It looks like it was just a draw. They traded off all the pieces. Dominguez
Okay.
versus Veselin. Let's get into that game.
One of our closest matches. We've seen so many matches that have not been competitive.
But
Jen.
a lot of them are close within the Blitz competition.
That is true.
The lopsidedness of these records.
Fabiano
is based
Caruana is
only.
losing.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm so sad for him.
I know.
I mean,
I'm-
how much
I'm
pain can one man
rooting.
take,
I'm
Maurice?
kind of rooting a little bit for Hari there. I mean, he's had such bad luck. And what is going on? Veselin Topalov up
Dominating
numerous pawns.
Dominant.
Leinier is just, wow.
Pass
And
pawns
look at
everywhere.
him
They're
go.
just dropping left and right. He could resign this position with a clear conscience.
No question about
Only
it.
4 seconds left on his clock and down 3 pawns.
All of those pawns are just terrible.
And look at those pawns just go, defending everything. He's just moving off momentum right now.
Exactly.
Because that pawn is ready to
Inertia.
go to a6. Put your king in the corner. And now, wait
a minute.
Because rook down is coming.
That's
this one
right.
Is not a move we wanted to have happen.
Right.
And now a check.
Oh, no.
And a discovery.
The old painful discovered check. Oh, that's an oldie but a goodie.
And Fabiano did lose his game.
All right. Well, let's just take a look at Fabiano's game because, I mean, Hari has not had many moments in the sun here. And let's give him a chance to shine with a royal fork at the end, Jennifer. Look at that final position as the knight on f8 hits the king on g6, check, and the queen on d7.
Well, Fabi did not have 9 lives as it took Harikrishna the 9th game to score a victory, but he did it.
That was very clever. Not 9 lives. He
Hey,
had
did I
8.
give-
He had 8 lives.
Can I give you another cappuccino yet?
Absolutely. I'm a little short on my Java. Tell us what happened, Maurice.
I got nothing to tell you. Looked like Sam managed his draw. And
Okay.
Other than that, I think
We saw Leinier go
deal,
down.
A big deal is that Wesley won.
Oh.
That was a big deal.
Okay.
Wesley
in the
won and
Blitz.
re-extended
They're totally
the lead.
tied up in the
4.5 in the Blitz between David and Wesley.
They're going toe-to-toe in that Blitz.
And they're the only ones that you can say about that.
The Blitz.
The Dominguez and the Shankland matches are also relatively close, but it's actually Shankland and Veselin who are both doing well, and the So Navara match. Wow.
Okay, let's repeat the rare moment that Harikrishna got his knight to fork.
There it
was.
is.
Oh,
Well done, Harry.
When Harry saw that f8 square, he just you could almost sense the relief. I've won a game, Maurice.
Do you remember that trick that's Rapport pulled on Sam?
The knight e8.
With knight e8.
Queen
the
a8
fork.
check.
That's
yes.
right. Queen a8 check, knight e8 check. The knight on the back rank. This is the kind of move that world-class players will miss when a knight appears in a square that it normally just simply does not belong. It's
right.
Like, what's your knight doing there?
Pattern recognition.
Your mind won't even notice the move. And so he played king g6, just blissfully unaware of this knight f8 fork that won the game. So those kind of moves, look out for it. Knights on the back row can be extremely dangerous and sneaky.
How do you like me now?
Well,
I
have
got
to say,
6 points.
I
I got
might not-
6 points.
I might not be doing great, Yaz, but let's just see who's doing the worst.
Wow, rough panel.
Everybody
Rough
looks for
panel.
their way, boy. Any chance you get to get a little something
Wow.
This is in reverse order of accuracy here, though, right?
Well,
starting with the worst pick.
Come on, shout out to Christian, gold medalist. Look at that pick that he has. Well, who got silver?
And,
That
only
must
3
be me.
people can be in the podium.
That's true.
What
That
is
is
you guys
true.
in second place? You sound like the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, wait a minute. Let's not go with all of the holy of the holies. Beloved Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
Not
You know,
beloved,
like
not
hello.
beloved. They got
hello.
beat. They were out.
My dad has a good joke
As did the
about
Philadelphia Eagles, by the way.
What Philadelphia has to say about Dallas.
What?
You see, but
I'm not talking
at least I'm
talking to Mike.
consistent. My Giants didn't make the playoffs at all. So.
Yeah, well, that's true. You have been consistent. We'll give you that.
Have you guys had enough chess? Well, not me, because
Not
we've got the
me.
Grand Chess Tour 2019 coming up, expanded, and we have this man who's already confirmed participation, Magnus Carlsen, our world champion, our #1 player in the world, and also has some pretty cool glasses in that shot.
No question about it. And there's everybody on tour this year, not including, of course, the wild cards. Jennifer.
Well, big welcome to Ding Liren of China
Yes,
as he joins the
indeed.
tour. He and Magnus, new for 2019. We also are really excited to have some of our faves back, our American big 3, Nakamura,
Yes.
Caruana, Wesley So, and we have new countries as well. Starting off in Côte d'Ivoire, and that's going to be May 6th to 13th. We also have a new classical event, something you've been thumping the table for,
I
Yaz.
love it. Croatia. Thank you so much. Zagreb.
And then we're going back to our traditional spots, Paris, St. Louis, the crown jewel, the Sinkfield Cup in August.
St. Louis again. But then another new event.
Yes, and then we have new events in Bucharest, Romania, and Kolkata, India, until the finals, which will take down during the London Chess Classic.
Exactly.
So what a tour it should be, as.
I know.
Actually, there is a press release out explaining which players are playing which event.
More competitors, more events, more wild cards, and bigger prize money. Nice. Did you see that prize money? I think
Oh, yeah.
1.25 or 5 or 1.75.
That's right, 1.75.
1.75. Thank you for the.
But what's 500K among friends?
Exactly. That's what I've always asked myself. And let's pick a game. Let's
Well,
play the
Duda
game
just
of
won.
Pick a game.
Yes.
Well,
So
let's stay with that.
I want to
dude.
see how Nakamura responds after getting beat, because he is.
And
We'll
by
never
the
argue
way,
with you when you pick Nakamura.
that was a dominating performance by Duda. I mean, he played boss chess that game. That whole F4, G4, F5, what he concocted, you don't see Nakamura
Awesome
going
game.
down like
By the
that.
way, do you remember if Duda has always been in this posture throughout all the matches? This thing with his left hand, always either on his face or on
Cover?
his head. Is he always like this?
Well,
it looks like he's worried every game. The body language just seems so interesting.
I think it's a common post for him. I really do.
I've seen it often, but I'm wondering if it was from the very beginning, is only when he started getting beat.
But did you see that, by the way? Like, the players are already deep into the game, and Hikaru looked up just to say, yeah, I prepared this.
See, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Right.
If you look at body language, it's something that we do, of course, we're checking to see how players feel.
Sure.
If you look at body language around the room, most people don't do this. Their head is
down.
one hand, the offhand, on your head somehow as you think about,
Right.
how do you get into a quick flow when your posture is like this? Is curious to me. He always has that hand up.
Okay, well, does he have reason for worry? Let's see, this is from yesterday.
Well, this posture is because he screwed up.
Yeah. Well,
This
both
we
guys
understand.
are actually shaking their head. Remember that
Oh, the
incredible
Queen
game?
D7.
The
Yeah,
Queen
the Queen
D7 versus
E7
Queen
versus
E7.
D7 miss.
Yeah.
That was not our
Okay.
producer just had to find that one to
Right,
really
and
just
there
dig
is
it
the
in.
arm. And by the way,
I
I'd
the color
like
he's wearing better today, anyway.
color. Good moves. Good moves. That's what Bobby Fischer said. That's all it takes is good moves. Bobby Fischer also said, you need to know when to punch and you need to know when to duck in chess. And it looks like, at least to me, Hikaru is getting ready to punch as the G file has been blasted open, and something to work with over here.
Bishop G4,
Bishop
yeah, is just trying to
G4.
plug it up manually.
Yeah, I was about to
Is that
say.
gonna work? Does Bishop
Well,
takes H7 appeared
Bishop
before?
takes H. The short answer is no, it doesn't.
just
In fact,
grabbing a cookie.
that falls for a trick.
Rook
Bishop
H8.
takes H7. The bishop needed to be defended by the queen. The queen couldn't capture the bishop, and so Hikaru just snaggled the pawn.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Terrible.
And
now
what a
his-
way of returning
now that
the
he's,
favor.
Now he's busted. His hand has left his face.
And it's like, okay,
And
now
he's
I
like,
don't have to
boy,
worry
now I
about
just got to
that.
throw stuff at him.
Okay.
Can't
Now-
believe he missed a one mover, basically.
Just losing a pawn, huh?
Yeah. And now the question is, will Hikaru show the type of form that Duda just showed a moment ago? He's just played F3, and Hikaru eyeballing Queen C2 to G2, which has been stopped, by the way, by this move, Bishop H3. Hikaru was looking to maybe go after the G7 pawn. Rook G3 was his choice. Interesting. I thought F4, F5 was going to be his choice. Rook G3. Okay. Extra pawn. King G8. Useful move, I think. Bishop D4, Bishop E5. I want as white to be able to play Bishop to E5 and Queen C3, and trying to utilize the double F pawns as a battering ram, the F4 and F3 pawns. I want to put them to use. maybe right away with f5. What do you think about them apples, Jennifer?
Immediately F5.
Or bishop e5. Queen f2.
Threatening rook takes G7.
The old discover check threat. Queen
Remember,
f2.
you can go for queen G1, threatening things.
Queen h6 in order to cover
F5.
up.
Yeah, you want to cover G7.
Exactly.
And now he's played your F5 move.
Okay.
Blunder
That'll make
alert,
them-
really fast
Okay,
in
what do we
the
got?
game between Topalov and Dominguez. Topalov played this move, bishop a4. It was bishop under attack and simply b3. And now this knight is going to feel a lot of pain.
Ouch.
Bishop b5, a4, and that's going to be a straight piece in the position. If you take, well, actually it's not going to be a piece, but after rook takes, this bishop will move, and then you won't be able to deal with the sweep that's coming up against his position. You're going to get crushed along the rank, and Topalov sitting right here after b3, not knowing what to do because his position is going to collapse rapidly. Looks like Dominguez will take this game home cleanly. He's also ahead on the clock.
All right, thank you for the blunder alert there. And back to Hikaru. Hikaru nursing an extra pawn. Right now, Duda's trying to get some chances of his own, counter chances against Hikaru's king. He's got ideas like queen h6 to a6, oftentimes these long moves like queen a6 from one end of the board to the other.
Channeling your concerns.
Yeah, exactly. Stop that, and at the same time, keep the black queen tethered to the bishop on h3. Now, bishop on h3 really stands out like a sore thumb. Bishop on h3 can't move. Means the queen can't move. Means how am I going to get my counterplay on the queen side? Duda looking at a5, a4, a3. Way too slow, Jen. Way too slow. Queen f3
And he ate
starts
up
to
a lot of
become
clock as well.
Queen f3 starts to be a real threat for white too. That bishop, puzzle rush alert. That bishop might just be trapped. Check.
Check. King d2 instantly. Now b3.
But all the business squares on the c file are protected. Bishop c3.
Rapport won his game against Sam,
Queen
by the way.
f3, just hunting down that bishop. Sorry, Richard has won against
And
our
that
U.S.
Blitz
champion.
match is almost as close as it could be, as it's now 4.5 for Richard and 5.5 for the U.S. champion.
Wow. Okay, but Richard, as we know, dominating performance in the rapid chess. He's closing in on match victory.
Yeah, he won't do it today, but he certainly could do it early tomorrow. And indeed, Leinier Dominguez did win that game, which also narrows the lead that Veselin had in the Blitz. He was also at 3.5 to 5.5, and now it will be 4.5, 5.5. And those two Blitz matches are anyone's game.
Exactly. Hikaru is just playing like a boss this game. Boy, talk about a comeback as Hikaru did hunt down, captured that bishop, and now with the move queen g2, there's a rook c2 check trick that he's worried about, because how do you stop rook c2 check? Did that work? Whoa, I think Duda missed
No, it
a
doesn't
shot.
Because your queen's hanging. So bishop takes.
Then I trade queens.
And the rook takes, and then the rook goes back to g1.
And the rook goes back to g1. Thank you, Maurice. That
this is a
clears the
disaster.
cobwebs.
A shot. And his queen will appear on b7
that's
with
a
check.
strip.
Yikes.
And that's going to be all
Whoops.
she wrote as he gets his piece back, and he's down gets his rook back. He's down a piece. He's down on the clock. He's got no counterplay. He's just staring over there, hoping against hope that somehow he's going to get something.
There's
but
no tricks. You
Bishop
just
e2.
King c3 is pretty
King
good
c3 also
too.
looks good. Your bishop gets nowhere. That's
King
just a
takes
move. He's
b3.
decided enough is enough is
Wow.
enough. As Naka just beating him up, the youngster.
Well,
beat
after,
him while they're young.
Wait a minute. Yeah, but Naka just trading blows because he got hit pretty
Right,
good
this
the
shows
round
you
before.
though with the white pieces. So
True.
Yeah,
But
Naka
trading
just
blows,
shows if you beat him, he's not going to be concerned. He's got kill that momentum concept.
Exactly.
But trading blows would be a generous way to describe Duda's performance today in the Blitz, as he did win a
7-4, right?
He, I was thinking of just the wins. Yeah, that's right. One, I think that, yeah, we'll check it on the screen in a second,
Okay.
but I think you're right.
Okay.
I think it's 3 wins for Duda, 2 draws, and then the rest of the wins for Naka.
Okay.
And this is our 10th game. So that would be 5, right? Yeah.
And Fabi bounced back.
5-3-2.
5-3-2.
Fabi bounced back, and sadly so, Harikrishna, take a look at this position. This is so sad.
Oh, no.
We've got material parity, of course. 5 pawns, 5 rooks, bishop. Everything is cool, but black's pieces look absolutely dominating. We like this knight, this rook, everything on light squares, this bishop going nowhere important. This is a great position. You can put your queen on c4 now if you want to. Just dominate.
Right.
Own the board. What move don't you play with your queen?
Don't put your queen on pre.
Okay, that would be too obvious. But almost. He played queen d3.
And don't get yourself discovered attacked.
Check, and there went the queen.
Oh,
a
no.
one-move blunder. I don't know how much
From
time
a
he had on the clock.
dominating position.
From just an overwhelming control position.
that's just not fair. That is just
And
not fair.
the point I'll make to you is, when your brain's gone, it's just gone. When you're punch drunk, you can't find moves. This is not something. Obviously, we're talking about a 2,700 player here.
Exactly.
A player who once broke into the top 10 in the world, in the live ratings at least. This is not stuff he does, and so this is a clear sign that he just can't think anymore. Just can't think. Somehow you get a great position, and how could I play queen d3?
Right.
So I don't even know how he recovers. I'm sure he's glad there's only one more game today, and there's only one day left in this torture that he is going through, as he's just losing every which way you could lose.
Here we look at a very dangerous Richard Rapport, 2 points away, Jen, from clinching. 24.5 is what's needed.
Oh, wow. And we have 2 more games to go, yeah.
I know, it's a potential. There is Sam Shankland in trouble, but okay, we do expect Richard to clinch. Take us through it. Hikaru Nakamura at 21.
That's right, 21 points to 13 points for
Leading
Duda.
7-3 is Hikaru in the Blitz. Fabiano, 8.5, 1.5.
Let's skip that
Ooh,
one.
let's skip that one.
26.
Wesley and David.
Even Steven, 21
yeah.
points for Wesley. Of course, he's crushing in the rapid, and therefore in the total match. But in the Blitz, they've gone toe-to-toe
And
with a couple of draws and lots of decisive games. I think 4 wins for each player.
I don't think we've seen the best of Leinier Dominguez. Maybe he's saving it for tomorrow, but at least he's still in this match.
Yeah, in the Blitz, again, 4.5 for Leinier Dominguez and 5.5. Can you imagine if we started these matches with Blitz? They would all be so much closer, except for Fabi's and Naka's.
3 great Blitz matches going on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Great ones, right?
Definitely.
That's awesome. And I think, we had been discussing various changes to the format. We're always pushing the envelope here at the club, and we're always thinking, how can we bring a better viewing experience to our viewers? And one idea that came up was, why not separate the Blitz and the Rapid? Who wins Rapid? Who wins Blitz? Maybe even split the prize money. I win the Rapids, I get more. I win the Blitz, you win the Blitz, you get more. And then we combine the scores to see who wins the overall thing. Then we've seen here, we would have people fighting like crazy to win the Blitz.
Right.
To say, yeah, it's going to count. And we'd be following 3 absolutely wonderful matches. At the moment, a matter of fact, I would even argue that even in the matches where we're seeing them outgunned, in those top 2 where Fabi's winning easily and Naka's winning easily, we might see even competitive matches there because those players wouldn't come into today demoralized.
Exactly.
Pentala walked in, Harikrishna walked in, he said, I'm just dead. There's no point to me playing. I can't win. But if somebody said, okay, you lost the rapid portion, but you come in and you could win the Blitz portion, I said, you know what? Forget about the rapid. Let me focus on this part. Maybe he might still lose, but his spirits would be higher coming into today for sure, and he might have given a lot more resistance.
Thank you, Maurice. What's your take on that, Jennifer? You like that idea of having 3 matches in one, so to speak? We're going to play
I like that
rapid
better.
with
Sure.
prize
I
funds,
think that's good.
separate prize funds, separate prize funds for the Blitz and separate prize funds for the overall?
I think that adds a little bit more of drama.
Yeah.
Because there's that separate money that you're playing for, which is always kind
Exactly.
of nice.
Exactly.
Similar to the Grand Chester, where, well, in the Grand Chester it's not like that, but we do kind of give
Not
shout outs to the person who wins the Blitz
Rapids
overall.
or wins the Blitz overall, say in a Paris or a
But I have,
Leuven event.
I have lots of ideas, yes.
Yeah.
Well, there are other ideas for
Yeah.
sure. We've been batting
I mean, in
around.
general-
Lots of them.
Because you said, and I think that's very important, and to our viewers, we want you guys to have the best viewing experience. And just as Hikaru said, we want the matches to be competitive.
I think that when there's a match that's already decided, they should shift to like a dance competition or push-ups, alternating
Maurice,
with chest
I'm sure you got some better ideas than that. Spoken like a true dancer.
If they're going to dance, I'll get in that dance side.
That was the idea, yes.
Okay.
Let's make that happen.
Maurice will have to be the judge.
Right. Maurice,
I don't know
you
that I'd be
actually-
judging really well for that, by the way. I haven't seen too many chess players get out there cutting a rug, especially when I go to Viva to go dancing.
Well, who is the best Super Grandmaster dancer?
Hey, while you guys discuss
how-
that point, we're
what game do
gonna.
you want, Yaz? I'll give you Yaz's choice.
I'm gonna go with Leinier, and
Okay.
because that match has been close, as has the Sam Shankland match. But let's start with Leinier. Veselin
It's not a boring
Topalov.
opening, we'll say with it, and it doesn't look like it's a boring
It's
opening.
definitely not. This is a sharp stuff. This is the Romanician variation of the Nimzo with an early fianchetto, something that's very happily played by Gary Kasparov.
And do you like this line for Black, Yaz?
Short answer, yes. I've found it troublesome. Let's put it that way. Though I should have been better theoretically prepared. Not sure I like this last move by Topalov. I think Veselin needed to play a2, a3 there, as the move queen d8 to a5 strikes me as a little bit awkward. And, of course, he played it, did Dominguez, queen a5, and then Veselin said, you know what, you're right, rook d1, c1. I'm going to stutter step with my rook, losing a tempo, did Veselin.
And we've got that interesting opening as usual in Nakamura Duda.
All right, we're going to have to use Maurice's board for a second.
That's okay.
Because I'm getting my mouse, getting extra attention. Okay,
We're just going to stick with the overhead shots for now, yeah.
Okay, it's just a PG
Well, my board
issue.
is definitely fine up here as well. So whenever you're ready, we can jump to my board as they're
excellent
moving apace.
It looks like there's a
You play
repetition
Bishop
afoot.
A3 and a rook.
A repetition afoot, because there was a knight c6 move tossed in there too. Knight c6 and e3 was played as a pair of moves, Maurice.
All right, well, let me get also this live board. We have a big live screen here, the master board.
The master
board, and it looks like a lot of games going on. Obviously, all 5 games. We have Dominguez's game right here with the queen drop back to c7, so no repetition there. Caruana and Harikrishna in a wild Sicilian in this position. This one we have Hikaru playing against Jan-Krzysztof Duda, and this has been a little bit different from what they have normally done so far. Sam Shankland, pretty good position, and a pass deep on going on in the Wesley So Navara game, as Navara actually with the white pieces trying to make do with his pawn on d6. So very interesting to see all the games all at once, and a lot of excitement. But let's go back if we can get your PGN, Yaz.
We're all good.
We're all
we
good.
Just
Back
seen,
to this game.
Knight c3, e4 by white, Veselin Topalov, as he's eyeballing the d6 pawn. And it's a kind of a hybrid, I want to say, hedgehog position. d7, d6. I've always liked these positions for black, being able to put my rook on d8, and in this case, the bishop will go to e8. d7, d6 I'm expecting by Leinier. The one thing you have to watch out for is that when you play d6, you don't want to see a knight suddenly appear on the d5 square when your rook is on c1 and your queen is on c7. So let's see how this game is unfolded after knight e4. Jen, do we have a move? Leinier having a deep think, it seems. He's played the move knight a5. and then came rook b1, and then came d6.
That's right.
Okay, so we've caught up to the players. I'm not sure I understand why the inclusion of the move knight a5 was good, but that was his choice. And now he's intending simply rook to d8, and then one day to get this bishop into the game. Neutralize white's spatial as well as dynamic piece play. What's the time? I feel like the players are playing very slowly. Is it
1 minute and 30 seconds for each. So h4 played.
rook d8? Very, very good. Leinier is playing this quite well. Knight c3. And again, you don't want to blunder your rook on a8. So
as
rook
you said,
b8,
he played rook b8.
Right. And again, a little bit surprised that this knight is stuck on a5 for the moment. Rook d1 to c1. As I was saying, you don't want to see a knight appearing on d5 when the rook on the c1 and your queen on c7 are lined up.
A full-blooded game just as we're approaching the 1 minute mark.
What we'd hoped for when we chose this game. So Leinier, he's ready for bishop b7, bishop a8, and then he'll very shortly, trust me when I say this, he will have an advantage. If you can play bishop b7, bishop a8, knight b7, knight c5, give me black all day. And knight d5, the one move I kept saying, you just don't want to see that move happen. Is this good, Maurice? What the heck is that? That's a p-sack, isn't it?
Sure looks like it.
You got to take it. Take with the pawn. Queen d7. What's the follow-up? What is the follow-up for Topalov? What is he saying?
It's going to be b4. The knight's going to be trapped.
Oh, the stupid
on
knight on
a5.
a5. Golly, I didn't like that knight on a5. Nice move.
But isn't the
nice
problem
move.
that you simply have to?
Well,
wow.
b6 is hanging.
He just let b6
Oh,
go.
no, I'm not a big fan of that choice. Wait a minute. That didn't sit well with me. He's got to go queen c7. Where else is the queen going to go? Oh, he's thinking about queen e8. Really? Queen e8. I don't know. I think that this was a big miss by...
what a weird sequence. And he burned
so
a
much
minute
time
on the clock as well.
So
now
much
he's going to
time.
repeat and go back to c7.
He sure did.
That was just not a ton of sense. Why not just give the guy his piece back? It was a piece sack.
Exactly.
Now he's taking it.
And lost the b pawn as well. Like,
that made no sense.
Let me toss this into the... Okay. And away they went.
Okay, well...
Okay. Still on his
He was
feet.
able to take
Still
the
on his
queen
feet.
on a5, so that wasn't that bad. Leinier, a super cool customer.
Truly. Wow.
Nakamura looks good. Fabiano looks good.
Fabiano, this is one
Fabiano
of his
just played a brutal move against Harikrishna.
finest performance I've seen since the streak. Let's make it clear. This is I remember one other truly outstanding performance. It was our world champion Magnus Carlsen against Ding Liren here in St. Louis. Remember that showdown match where Magnus Carlsen absolutely dominated the great Chinese champion Ding Liren.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember the score, but I know it wasn't pretty.
It was not pretty.
As maybe we can move to
yeah,
one
this
of the
game's
other
kind
games.
of okay. Veselin Topalov for choice. Sorry, I was just going to do a quick
let's do it.
search. Fabiano. Oh, that's a crazy position. But
if you go back a few moves ago, he was able to get this move in b3, and after that, it looked just really ugly for the white pieces.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that looks like. Yeah, that was a nice. Okay, that game is definitely going.
Look at Sam Shankland's game. He's about to. It looked like he had a mating idea, and instead
switched it up.
Look, rook h5 check is answered by queen h4. What? It's not every day you put your queen in the way, but he's got an unstoppable pass pawn. The right way to play. Sam went for his last trick in that position, and it just didn't work.
Oh,
to
queen
a beautiful
h4.
Queen block.
That was nice. Nice play. Let's move on to the David Navara Wesley So game. And it's over, just as we were moving over there.
It looks like it was.
By the way, it looks like Topalov did make a draw in that game. And David Navara
Won, I think.
Won.
Yeah, he won that game. And
Against
now,
Wesley So.
And Fabi's game still underway.
Okay, let's switch to it. It looks like Fabiano is, well, it's a mess still.
That Navara Wesley match, by the way, is 6-5 in Navara's favor now. Such a tight match.
Wow. Okay.
Oh boy. Where's that queen? I couldn't even tell what square it was on. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Bishop B2 check. Talk about discovered check attacks. I think Hari did it again. He just put his queen in the previous game into a discovered check pattern, and he just dropped the rook to a discovered check.
And there it is.
Oh my
Lost
gosh!
for Harikrishna.
He's shaking his head so very sadly, is Harikrishna, as he's done it again. He turned, I think, a win. I think he had a win into a loss.
And Nakamura also won his game. Indeed, I noticed he was up a pawn earlier. That opening did not work out this time for Duda. But wow, it looks like Navara is a surprise so far of the day. He's up 6-5 against Wesley So.
No question. I didn't see that coming.
We've also been impressed by Sam Shankland's quasi comeback.
And
Not
Maurice.
after this last game.
Maurice, you got something to say about that?
Yes, absolutely. This game was fascinating. He played this move after King H3, Knight to C8. Knight to C8 and Queen A8. This move is still winning. King H7 apparently the best way to reply to that. Can you imagine playing the move King H7, Queen C8, and Bishop to B4? The threat is Rook H1, and your king is caught in what is likely a draw. Well, first of all, it's called a mating net, but White is able to draw this position with correct play. The move being Knight to E5, maybe even still winning. But Queen A8, Rook to B5, and suddenly a vicious mating threat on the board with Rook H5 check. Be careful because King H7, Rook B5, Queen C8 check, King H7, and now the only way to win the game, the only way is to now play Queen D8. You have to help out with your queen against what's going to happen with your king, Rook H5 check, and now Queen H4, because after Rook H5 check, if you had played King G4, whoops, hello, and now Rook H2 and Queen H4 and G6 and ooh, nice. But the guy had it all calculated. He said, my queen's going to come back and help the Lord. Queen H4, and you can have that one. This pawn is unstoppable by this bishop or this rook thanks to the escorts of the knights. And just look at Sam. Absolutely morose, devastated, shocked. He can't believe he's being pummeled the way he is. He had such a nice moment when he was up 4.5, 2.5. Must have felt the momentum going his way. But then Rapport just bounced back. And now the match is all tied.
That's right, tied up as Veselin's got that.
I say tied in the blitz.
In the
Tied
blitz.
in the blitz.
5.5, but 23.5 points for Richard. Richard needs one more, Jennifer, to clinch victory.
That's right. If he wins this final game of Blitz today, he
Right.
will clinch his match. So that might be the one to watch, Jazz.
And Veselin Topalov at 6-5 in that blitz matchup. But David Navara up against Wesley So. I didn't see that coming. I thought Wesley, on paper, was the clear favorite.
In the blitz.
In the blitz.
That's right. I mean, 21 points. And, obviously, part of the reason I made that pick, and I was so wrong about it, pun not intended, is that Navara didn't seem like he was that good of a fast player, right? Like,
exactly.
He actually lost on time, and he almost lost on time many players. But I stand corrected as he's showing some good stuff today.
Indeed.
And that's the thing about the 2-second increment. I mean, it's not only about flagging your opponent, right?
Yeah,
you also
exactly.
just need to play really good moves.
Really, really good moves. And again, shout out to Cristian for his pick today. He did choose Fabiano, who scored 9.5 out of 11.
I'm not giving Cristian any credit.
Look at that smile. That
Look at
smile's
that.
so big.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
like
give
such
him the
a-
gold medal for
that's
today.
such a nice
okay.
smile. It's like annoying.
I got a piece of chocolate for you there.
I'm
Christian.
not giving him any
Yeah,
credit.
come on.
You're too happy.
You get to
Come
work for
on.
4 months with a guy, or even more, with a guy on the World Championship. You can see how good he is. And you're his boy. You're always going to pick him.
Right.
Pick somebody who's not your friend and the number 2 player in the world. Why
On
don't
the
you?
planet,
I
yes.
mean, come on.
Let's keep pounding on Cristian while he's not here to defend himself.
You know what? From now on, anytime you ask me about picks, just give me the number 1 rated player in the field. I don't, if that's what, this is
That's
what.
my job.
That's
This
your
is-
job, exactly. That's your formula for success. Pick the best guy. Oh, no, woo, looky here. Who do we have? Nakamura. Oh, he's the top guy in the field. Let's pick him. Magnus. Ooh, I think I'll pick him.
Hey,
I
there
mean,
was
come on.
Hey, just a second. Hold on. Time out. There was a tournament I didn't pick Magnus.
You picked Mama Diarra.
That's right.
And then
It was
and
the
Maurice
Seafield
picked
Cup.
Fabi, and then all of a sudden it was my turn, and I was like, who
Who's
should I
left?
pick? I guess I'll have to go with what the leftovers, Magnus.
All right.
And that, of course, was the tournament where there was a 3-way tie. So Maurice and I were
Which
both right.
Magnus tied for, and the games are the
Guess
right.
he wasn't in it, though.
Let's
go
stay with Sam Shankland.
Yes,
I mean, come
because
on. This
let's
is a
see.
game that could decide the outcome of the match. Richard, leading, of course, needs a 1 win to clinch. Can he do it today, or will he do it tomorrow?
Okay,
Sam
so who are we
looks
picking?
upset.
Is Richard going to win right now or not? Let's get our picks in.
I'm going to go with no.
I'm going with no. That leaves you with an absolute
Okay.
yes.
That means I got to say yes. Richard's going to win this.
Nice job, yeah. I like how we got like Armageddon game with White.
Exactly.
I like the
Right,
Armageddon
what?
game with White, baby.
Oh, why did I ask? Stupid. Why didn't I just say my pick first?
I'm thinking Sam's gonna phone this one in, and I'm worried that you might think from now on I'm just gonna call from the hotel and say, "Hi guys, how you guys doing? What's happening? Okay, tell me
Well, what is the position,
what do we got?
guys? Let's catch up here.
Okay, I didn't quite fathom Rook B1 by Sam. He did play Rook B1. I guess he's eyeballing B4, but why would you do that? And instead he has taken and kind of split the queen side of black,
And then play Queen C2.
which is very, very reasonable. I thought he was going to start with a move like Queen C2, Queen E2, H2, H3, usually a useful kind
Queen
of move.
E7, Bishop D2 played.
Queen E7, Bishop D2 played. Got it.
And then Bishop
Okay.
E6.
Bishop E6, yeah. And again, this move, Rook B1, looks like a waste, but that's okay.
B3, Rook FD8 on the board.
hmm So Richard's structure has been compromised, but by every standard, he's got the better, more active pieces. We got an alert.
Crazy
Maurice.
opening alert. Take a look at Nakamura versus Duda. Sorry, guys, but knight F3, F5, D3, knight F6, E4. Give me that. Give me that. Knight takes E4, free pawn, bishop D3, and knight F6, allowing knight to G5.
This is like the Lazinski gambit or some crazy thing.
And G6 is virtually forced. He played D6, allowing bishop H7. And if you take on H7 with your knight, your king
Whoops.
enjoys a nice little walk. This is
Ooh.
move 7 he's on right now. Bishop H7. What the heck? He's getting pummeled already. He did take with the knight. Queen check on the board. This is move 8 of a 2700 Grandmaster game. King now on D7. And knight F7 is just hand me the material best move. What a way to lose your last. And knight F7 is on the board right now. And he's just busted.
Is Duda.
Is Duda right out the ope.
Wow.
The ope.
The ope.
One?
As an
Wait, you never heard that
opening.
before?
The ope.
No.
Oh, we say that in Brooklyn all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say the Brooklyn School of Chess.
And
the
a little
ope.
check. You got to walk up the board with your king or play E6.
No, you got to play E6.
Give me your rook in the corner. Your knight's going to be hanging. Wow.
By the way, if
right,
Black was
no
to
hope.
play King C6, I mean, virtually all of his pieces are on the first rank, and his king is charging into battle. You know, he's the most developed piece on the board. After King C6, look at where all of Black's pieces lie. And the king, that's funny. I mean, chess curiosities.
And his king is on C6.
No.
We're on move 10.
Okay, Duda's having some fun.
We're on move 10, and the
is-
guy's king is sitting on C6.
That's just a dumb move. I mean, like, And look at him go.
You don't want to walk home. This is the last game of the
No,
day,
you just
and your
take
king
the
has made
rook.
like 4 moves already.
Like what? Yeah, so white is an exchange up for a pawn? Is it a pawn? What's going on here, Jennifer? What's the
It's
material
even. No,
count?
it's just an exchange
It's just
at
an
the
exchange.
moment.
But the knight on h8 still got to get back into the game. Bishop g5, good turn. Good move.
Wow, incredible
Knight
that this happened to him. But at least Nakamura is burning some clock with his big advantage.
Right. Well, again, kind of talk about being wobbly and spin cycle tilt. And I think that's just happened to Duda. He's just played the move knight e5, queen e2. Crazy stuff, Jen. Sam Shankland, by the way, he has a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
It's not as interesting as the game of Nakamura, but I do
Just
like.
don't forget, we do have draw odds.
That's true.
Wait, what? How'd you get draws?
No, we got draw odds on our bet with you.
Yeah.
You have draw odds?
Yeah, you said that Richard was going to win the game.
You guys are. I didn't. I was forced to.
You were forced. We had already. It
I
was
like
2-0.
white.
I like white. Definitely.
You guys are terrible.
I know. It really is bad. I mean,
Knight G6 played, okay.
That looks like a step in the wrong direction to my eyes, because after knight d3, this blockading knight is like immovable after g3, and this knight on g6 is going to be tethered to the e5 pawn. So it's a
But he didn't choose your g3. He played king e1 instead. But I guess he figures you can't,
You can't play knight f4 right away. g4. Another reason that you might want to play g3 is you could meet this move g4 with the move f4. Richard, well, he's making it hard, making it tricky. F5. Okay, that was really blowing the position
I
wide
like that,
open.
though, because otherwise you can have a lot of counterplay.
Rook c7 check, though, Jen. Look.
True.
Look at this. I mean, okay, Sam's beginning. Oh, my
And he's
goodness.
taking it.
What a. Okay.
Taking it for the pawns.
Richard is just an amazing player.
So rook
so
c7
creative.
check. We just play king. We just nestle into king h6. So Sam's played knight c5.
Sam said, okay, let me just play knight c5 so I can threaten knight e6 check and give me the pawn on d4. What do you got for, and I don't think he's got a lot for, in terms of compensation.
Check, and if you put your
e3, king d3.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Knight f4 check.
Give me the pawn. Give me the pawn.
So you don't mind knight
I'll
f4
give that
check?
exchange. No, I'll give that
You're ready
exchange.
to give it because then you're going to get all the key pawns.
But you're going to lose your b pawn in the process.
And I'll have a
But you'll
pass
have
d6
extra
pawn.
D6 pawn.
So king takes d4, knight e2 check, king e5, knight takes c1,
I
rook
thought you were
takes
going to take
c1.
the pawn on e3. You just.
I wanted to
Just
escort,
wanted
but okay, king takes e3, grabbing pawns, always a good idea.
Yeah.
And
then takes,
U.S.
takes,
champion
takes,
says it, very good idea.
Yeah.
Let me play d6 and be much better. Gee, you were really close on this one, Maurice.
You guys got to pick your two gimmies and force my hand.
And Nakamura
D7.
has won.
Wow.
Huge day for Naka, the Grand Chess Tour champion. So good in Blitz and Rapport.
He just could not catch Fabi, though, who's having, well, what can I say? Like,
Catch Fabi. You think he's thinking about Fabi?
No.
He's
No,
not
I
thinking
was
about Fabi at all.
thinking in those terms. Wait a minute. Why did
thought
did Sam go d7? He could have played h3 check a move ago. Okay, this maybe is still a winning rook ending. Rook e5. Let's go, Sam.
There we
Rook
have it.
e5. I guess it's winning. Rook g2,
But
rook
you thought
g5.
you had better, indeed.
Yeah, well, he's still winning it. Rook G2, Rook G5, followed by Rook G4, King F3.
What's this? He's going to take that pawn.
I think
is that
he
winning?
just.
I don't think taking the A pawn wins, does it?
I thought he was going to go King F3 actually. Okay, well Sam has his ideas. Let's hope for his sake he's right. Ooh, nice trickies.
What's the trick?
If you go Rook A2, A6, perhaps.
Yeah, and then King G6, and then you have to go protect your
Same
pawn.
idea. Same idea. I think Richard. Oh, it's so lucky. Is Richard?
Okay,
luck favors the good.
He's going to have to go
all the
behind
way
this
over,
pawn and make that rook go in front,
which
and
is
now
not what you want.
This endgame should.
Now you can't take. You got to go King G7.
But this
King
is not
G4.
a win.
Now Rook check, King G5, and it's Zugzwang?
King over. No Zugzwang. He's getting a mating. What is the point here? What is the point? His king has got to go in front of that A pawn.
It's not the Van.
But this is not
Vancouver position.
Isn't this Vancouver? This looks like Vancouver getting the rook to the F file.
It
should draw.
But remember, this is not classical chess.
No.
This is blitz chess. Hard to remember all of those. Time.
His time is a factor. He's trying to build up the clock.
And he's just got his rook out. Oh, it's over. He can resign now. He forgot to give the check.
The check and now push the pawn, and that's it. Sam won the game.
Sam Shankland coming back in the last round. There you go, baby.
Yeah.
You heard that
give
high
me
five.
That high five.
And we got
guys are thieves.
Wesley So.
Forced my hand.
Wesley So versus Navara. This match is one in which Navara has a 1-point lead. Can Wesley even the score in the blitz?
Exactly.
He's got a massive lead in the rapid.
And Wesley. Ooh. No, it's a bishops of opposite color ending, and Wesley's in trouble. Guys.
Wow, Navara with 5 seconds left on the clock, but he's built up a little time there.
Uh-oh.
But he lost that pawn.
Yeah, Wesley is fighting his way back with his capture.
How do you deal with the A pawn? Push it.
Yeah, push it, baby.
And they got a little King E5 action with a bishop D4. He
blundered.
He got him.
He blundered the A pawn to David Navara.
And everybody's drawn.
But Navara, well done. Very successful day for David Navara.
Absolutely.
He's still not looking great in the match, but he ended up scoring +1 today against Wesley So. And wow, if you look at
Navara there, he's a good student. I would tell my students, set up your pieces after you're done. And Navara said, yeah. I might be a 2,700 grandmaster, but I do set up my pieces. I probably learned this in the Maurice Ashley school.
Navara the nice guy.
Navara the nice guy.
Grandmaster, Mr. Nice Guy,
And
but not on the chessboard.
Hikaru Nakamura, by the way, did win once again against Duda, the silver medalist from the World Blitz Championship, getting a lesson, I want to say, from Hikaru, who's just, I think, one of the greatest blitz players I've ever seen in my life, ever.
And bullet-wise,
And bullet-wise, just
number one.
Yeah, no.
But
he's just
Magnus,
amazing.
of course, has something to say about that.
Yeah, Magnus is also just a monster blitz and rapid player. What can you say about Magnus Carlsen? That hasn't been said, but for me, Nakamura is some talent.
And we have Cristian Chirila with Dominguez about today's topsy-turvy match.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Leinier Dominguez after a fairly balanced day at the office. Leinier, how would you assess your performance?
Well, it wasn't especially good. I mean, it went quite bad right from the beginning, but I was too slow again. But then I think I was able to improve, to play a bit faster and better, but still it wasn't enough to improve so much my score. But okay, we have one final day. Let's see what happens.
What is the strategy tomorrow? You need to score big. What are you going to do differently?
Well, I'll just try to play fast and just do my best and not put so much pressure. thinking about the score or something. I'll just try to play and see what happens.
And last but not least, what do you think about the format of this match?
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, this 15 minutes, for some reason I thought it's more like Rapid, but it felt more like Blitz. I don't know if it's me that I was too slow, but it felt almost like Blitz. 25 minutes at least you have some time to think. But I think in general it's quite spectacular, these fast time controls, and I always enjoy it.
Absolutely. We remember last year's match against Wesley So when there was actually blood on the chess clock. So good luck in the rest of the match, and we'll see you tomorrow. Let's go to Maurice with Sam Shankland.
Well, he didn't have a great first few days in the Rapid, but showing his skills now in the Blitz portion. The U.S. champion from 2018, Sam Shankland. Sam, a champion like you want to win the matches. When you realized you couldn't win the match anymore from the Rapid, how did you approach the Blitz today and made this comeback?
Excuse me, I'm going to win all 12 games tomorrow and win without a playoff. What are you talking about? No, I mean, of course you just have to keep on fighting no matter what. I mean, obviously I'm going to keep on fighting tomorrow because I'm going to try to win all 12 games. I give myself, I don't know, 1 in a million chance. This seems about right, but of course you have to try. No, you just have to keep your head on straight. And I was sort of looking forward to the Blitz, actually. My Blitz has been pretty lousy for a long time, and I really put a lot of work into it recently, and I'm realizing now I need to put work into Rapid instead. I mean, I thought my Blitz I played pretty well today, actually.
Tell us how you've been working on Blitz.
Just playing a lot and trying to get better. It's because all the stuff I've been working on for the past years was basically geared towards classical chess, because for a long time that's really all that mattered, even for elite players. But now that there's Grand Chess Tour and all these other top-level Blitz and Rapid events, I had to start working on those. Well, I've just been playing a lot and trying to make more intuitive decisions and not worry as much about calculation, because obviously you don't have time in a Blitz game. In a Rapid game you sort of do, but this is faster than Rapid even, because it's 15 minutes instead of 25. But I've been working on it. I think clearly, especially in Rapid, there's a long way to go because we have the same rating, and he just lit me up. I mean, it was really uncompetitive at some points. But I think at least for Blitz I'm doing all right.
People felt like him being the European Rapid champion, that you picked a really tough opponent. Well, you could have picked anybody. Why this particular opponent who's clearly very strong?
I thought it would be fun, and what I'll say after I was criticized for picking Maxime last time, who also crushed me, is I would rather be a fool than a coward. I wanted to choose someone who I thought would challenge me and who I thought would be really fun. And honestly, like, I don't want to berate anyone who plays the Berlin all day long every day. I mean, you're a professional player, that's what you have to do sometimes, but someone like Rapport is incredibly imaginative. I mean, I don't think we've had a single boring game this entire match. I don't know, maybe I should have chosen someone quote-unquote easier. I mean, I looked at our ratings and saw we're the same. I just didn't really think he was going to be that much better at Rapid when clearly he was, or at least he showed it this part. But, I'm glad that I picked the guy I did, even though the Rapid phase didn't go very well.
I don't think anybody's going to call you a coward. You have a tremendous heart.
They might call me a fool. They'd be right.
Screw them. We don't have to listen to them.
Sure.
Anyway, thanks very much for your fight, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Well done, Sam. Indeed. Great comeback.
We have Cristian upstairs with David Navara.
Thank you, Maurice. I'm here with #1 Czech player David Navara after a very good day at the office. David, how would you assess your performance in the first day of Blitz?
Okay, I was playing much better than on the previous days. Today, even though I still made quite many mistakes, but it's inevitable in Blitz. I mean, the games were very interesting, and of course, I missed some chances. Wesley also did, so it was interesting.
You still need to catch up on the score, but what are you going to do differently tomorrow?
No, I'm 7 points behind, so it's unrealistic to catch up, but I want to play as well as I can. I will try. Today I was much closer to it. I mean, I can play better sometimes, but I'm no longer that quick, and when I'm short of time, I'm making big mistakes, of course.
You've played a lot of matches here in Europe as well. How do you like this format?
Okay, it's very interesting, especially for the spectators. There are many strong players, and I like it very much. I'm glad that I was invited, even though
Okay, I think there are also many other players who deserve to play rather than me, but okay, I'm happy to be here.
And finally, what is your max score in Puzzle Rush? You were doing it in the basement yesterday.
I don't know. I haven't watched so much. I don't know Puzzle Rush so well, so I don't know how is it being rated. I reached the best result on of the day yesterday, I think. But I mean, I don't know. But sometimes someone gave me one advice, even though I hadn't asked for it. So I mean, I can see such tactics quickly, but I think it's irrelevant because it's way too simple. I mean, many of those puzzles, and I don't care.
Well, you definitely beat my all-time high, so congratulations on that. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Maurice.
Wow, he doesn't care. Puzzles are too easy. Spoken like a true 2750 player. Well, we are with someone who definitely thinks those puzzles are way too easy, Fabiano Caruana, who has done a lot of remarkable things in his career, and certainly today, as he has clinched his match against Pentala Harikrishna. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
You must have felt that you were going to clinch the match with such a big score in Rapid. How do you keep yourself motivated as you kept on winning games even afterwards?
Well, it's not, I mean, I thought I would win the match coming into today, but it's not a guarantee. And you really, I mean, it's the worst feeling to actually ruin a match where it's pretty much all in your hands and you have a huge lead. So yeah, I still had a lot of motivation. And even after the match was theoretically over, I still felt pretty motivated to play. But okay, overall the quality today wasn't too great. A lot of games were decided by really crude blunders near the end. I think the main difference today was that I was seeing these kind of small tactics when we had a few seconds left a bit faster than he was. And that I mean, he blundered queen with bishop h6, and then bishop, when he played rook g5 in one of the games, bishop b2. But yeah, he spoiled a lot of winning positions, which he had. And if he had converted, then it would have been a very close day.
How do you explain such a strong player making mistakes like that? I mean, we're used to seeing much lower-rated players blunder, but I'm sure they're happy to see that the top player could make such a simple blunder as well, but also somewhat surprised that a 27-plus player who's been in the top 10 could make these kind of errors.
Well, when you have 5 seconds left, your brain is not really functioning properly. I mean, you can't really think about a position with with only 1 second for a move. So you have to rely entirely on basically on some sort of pattern recognition and trying to spot small tactics. That's about it. I mean, so it's really not that surprising, and you see a lot of top games will end in crude blunders. And that's one of the strengths of, like, let's say Hikaru, that he sees these tactics probably better than anyone else in the final stages where only a few seconds left, and he, I mean, this is just a huge advantage in Blitz to be able to spot tactics and not blunder near the end. But everyone does it. I mean, Magnus will blunder. All the best players in the world will blunder when it comes down to the last few seconds.
I know you say it doesn't matter at all to you, but you're getting 49 rating points in Blitz just today, and it's risen you into the top 10 in the world in the live rankings in Blitz. How do you assess that as an improvement, betterment, or irrelevant?
Yeah, again, it doesn't matter too much to me. I'm still mainly looking at classical ratings. Those are the ones which I think everyone puts most stock into. Of course, like I said before, Blitz and Rapid, I mean, the best players in the world in classical are still the highest rated in Blitz and Rapid as well, but it's not as important to me. But of course,
the rating, you're saying?
Yeah, the rating.
But now with the Grand Chess Tour expanding 5 different events in the Rapid and Blitz, the London Chess Classic will have Rapid and Blitz as well. You played in that as well. Is Rapid and Blitz now really featuring prominently?
Oh, no, I care about my results in Rapid and Blitz. I don't look at the rating too much. And generally speaking, if you play well, the rating follows. But yeah, of course, Rapid and Blitz is very, very important these days. I mean, it's, I wouldn't say I play more Rapid and Blitz than classical, but it's a very prominent part of every top player schedule.
Let me just make a clear point. You do care about your rating in classical, don't you? Or not?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I also am so used to looking at that because it was basically a ticket to the candidates. And I mean, last time I qualified to the candidates was by rating. So I'm very used to looking at my classical rating. Maybe this year I don't have to pay as much attention to it, but when it was a race between Kramnik, Wesley, and me, I was basically looking at it every day. You know, all our ratings, I had to make sure that I would get a spot.
Final question, tomorrow's games. You got 12 games that for you really don't matter because you've already sewn up the match. They're not rated. How do you want to close this out? Are you highly motivated to win all the games?
Okay, I can relax a bit because there's not really much at stake except to play good chess, which is always the best thing, I think. And hopefully both of us can play better now that there's really no pressure on either one.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing your games. Get your rest.
Our congratulations to you, Fabiano, on the first to win a Showdown match winner as he clinched the $36,000, Jennifer.
And the only winner of today, as we turned out to be correct, Yaz, you and I.
Yes.
And Sam Shankland got it done. Fabiano Caruana, though, seriously, big congrats.
Exactly.
$36,000 in the bag. And, of course, we're always proud of St. Louis's own Fabi Caruana, who's just always dazzling.
Yeah, well, I thought that we had some really, really dazzling matchups. Great play by Hikaru Nakamura against the silver medalist. But let's go over to Maurice and share your thoughts on this, the first day of Blitz. Maurice.
Well, it was clearly very exciting. Lots of good Blitz matches. We want to see that. And I think more and more we're noticing, yes, maybe you want to separate the Blitz and rapid scores because that way the Blitz portion will matter. And if it did matter, then 3 of the matches we see today would be simply thrilling to be looking for the numbers, as that's going to matter as far as prize money would be concerned and bragging rights as well. And we'll keep an eye on it tomorrow because I'm sure, okay, Sam is saying he's going to try to win all 12 games. That I'll bet won't happen. Knowing me, I might lose that bet. But that still is highly unlikely of the unlikeliest. But still, these players are competitive. They want to play well. They want to show their stuff on the highest stage right here in St. Louis. And so it should be fun. And we'll be here, of course. Last day, guys. We've been here a while.
Yeah,
That's
calling
right. Well,
all the action.
Sam said he'd give me $1 million to 1. So I don't know. That would be a really cool way to become a millionaire.
I'd put down $10. Why not? Why not? Come on.
You want $10 million?
Yeah,
I was just going to say $1.
Yeah, $1 is a good idea. Also true.
Because you want the person to be actually able to pay it, right? Yeah.
Good point.
You got to ask me for the tricks, yeah.
All right.
on this business. But seriously, what a day. Had so much fun calling this Blitz, and just what constantly astonishes me is how high the quality can be when you bring some of the top players in the world.
True
that. Their Blitz games, I mean, some of them are really just incredible to watch. And thanks, everybody, for viewing tomorrow. We're going to be back same time, same place, same format, 12 exciting Blitz games. 12:50 Central Time, that's 1:50 in the East Coast. This is Jen Shahade signing off for Grandmasters Yasser Seirawan, Maurice Ashley, and Cristian Chirila upstairs.
Thank you for joining us. See you all tomorrow.